Striking Chicago Symphony Orchestra musicians have halted negotiations as they continue to fight for better wages, health benefits, and their retirement plans. Sunday, a spokesperson releasing a statement saying the CSOA and the Chicago Federation of Musicians have mutually agreed to take a break in their discussions regarding a new contract. There are no further sessions scheduled. The 5-year-old girl killed inside of a house fire in Inglewood last week has been identified Sunday as Caitlin Jeffries. Chicago Fire say the girl was pronounced dead on the scene after being trapped inside that burning Inglewood home Friday. Cause of the fire continues to be investigated. A 10-year-old boy shot while sitting in a vehicle with his father in the suburbs. Ezra Hill was treated in the intensive care unit at an area hospital. The boy shot twice Saturday afternoon in Harvey. Slugs, according to police, also struck a nearby house and another vehicle. The father was not wounded. American Airlines is extending cancellations of flights through April 24th due to the grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. Chicago-based Boeing is beginning testing on a new software package for the 737 MAX and is bringing in outside experts and pilots for testing. Being governor of the state of Illinois comes with many worries, but for J.B. Pritzker, apparently what to wear is not one of them. The Democrats' daily appointment schedule notes appropriate attire for most events. Not surprisingly, the most common entry is business, suit and tie. New York image consultant Joe Rosenfeld says all of his top executive clients plan their wardrobes weeks in advance. The native of Buffalo Grove says Pritzker is simply being efficient. Chicago sports, Duncan Keith scored less than 2 minutes into OT, sending the Blackhawks to a 2-1 win over Colorado at the United Center. Blackhawks take a night off, and then they battle Arizona in another playoff critical matchup on Tuesday. Cubs wrap out 27 hits in a softball score, 24-6 over San Diego in Peoria. White Sox got hits from 11 different players in a spring training tune-up victory over division rival Cleveland, 7-3. Sweet 16 for the NCAA tournament tips off on Thursday after a wild first weekend. Sunday, number 2 Tennessee beat Iowa, and it was Houston beating the Big Ten's Ohio State Buckeyes 74-59. In the women's tournament, Missouri State surprised some by upsetting Missouri Valley powerhouse Drake to claim the league's automatic bid. The 11-seed Lady Bears apparently are not done playing above expectations. Missouri State stunning 6-seeded DePaul over the weekend, 89-78. The annual NFL owners meetings kick off today. PGA, the Valspar champion, Paul Casey, as they tune up for the Masters. The news service of Credit Karma. Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress. 5:07, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains how the left works.
The use of government power for political ends. That is exactly what the left is about, has always been about. There are no limits to the efforts it will make using government to suppress its foes. There are no limits. The IRS was just a hint of it. This is a very scary thing.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, cybercriminals stole the W-2 forms from my friend's company.
Yeah, scammers impersonate CEOs in email and also launch attacks from compromised accounts.
What if they target us?
Don't worry. We have Barracuda Total Email Protection.
So we're secured?
Yes. Barracuda protects businesses of all sizes with artificial intelligence that blocks spear phishing, account takeover attempts, and business email compromise.
That's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your
journey secured.
There's a real war against Christians in America. Now, David Horowitz's new bestseller, Dark Agenda, reveals the secret efforts in Congress, the media, even our schools and military to destroy Christianity. President Trump is fighting back, but Dark Agenda exposes the danger for him and you. Tucker Carlson says you must read this disturbing but vital book. Get David Horowitz's Dark Agenda at bookstores, or check out the free offer by going to darkagenda911.com, darkagenda911.com, or call 1-800-NEWSMAX today.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
When weather hits, the right wiper blades make all the difference. That's when the Michelin Man is on your side, helping you see better and drive safer with new Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. Designed with exclusive SmartFlex technology or frameless beam design, Michelin blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you unparalleled, streak-free, long-lasting, all-season performance. So when the going gets tough, be ready with Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. It's a difference you can see. Available at Walmart and other fine retailers.
It's the buy one, get one free paint sale at Ace. Their biggest paint sale of the year. Buy a gallon of their top paint and get a second free. Their paint experts will ask the right questions to make sure you have everything you need to get your job done right. Now through Monday, only at Ace. Limit 2 free gallons of equal or lesser value.
It's 5:11. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. In Elmhurst, starting today, utility work associated with the Tri-State Tollway Reconstruction Project is scheduled to close southbound County Line Road from Grand to Lake until sometime in the summer. And Grant Park, Balboa is shut down between Columbus and Lakeshore Drive for Shamrock Shuffle cleanup until 6 this morning. Got no delays to report on the Edens or the Kennedy, the Eisenhower, Stevenson, Dan Ryan. They're all moving at their posted speeds. No problems to report 57 or Bishop Ford. Lakeshore Drive looks good, too. Tri-State, Adams, Reagan, Veterans Memorial, all the Indiana toll roads, they're all moving at their posted speeds at this hour of the day. That's traffic. I'm Al Verde on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. And our meteorologist is Jillian Ford.
Lakeshore flood advisory in effect until 1 p.m. today. Mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler with the high of 41. Mainly clear and cold tonight with the low of 27. Tomorrow mostly sunny and chilly with a high of 43. I'm Jillian Ford on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare, 36 along the lakefront with that lakefront flooding warning. Mostly due to powerful winds driving the heavy waves along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, it turns out that President Trump and Vlad Putin, not Bonnie and Clyde. So the Mueller report, or the Barr summary of the Mueller report, which is what we've got so far, released yesterday, suggests, why don't we start with a little walk down memory lane, reminding everybody what was said by Democrats over the last 24 months, just a smattering of it to give you a little bit of a baseline, smattering of what was said by Democrats over the last 24 months about the Mueller report, about President Trump's alleged collusion with the Russians. You'll hear from your Adam Schiff, your Chris Coons, your Julian Castro, your No Justice, No Peace Maxine, your Morning Joe, your Kathy Griffin, your John Harwood, your Carl Bernstein, your Joy Behar, all.
Don't forget Barbara Streisand.
All of your favorite stars right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, this week on Friday, he is going to be delivering what I think are going to be his indictments, the final indictments.
I would not be surprised if there were a number of indictments that still were going to come down the pike.
There are indictments in this president's future.
That's a bombshell. The bombshell. This bombshell. Drop the bombshell.
Bombshell accusation.
Bombshell accusation.
This is evidence of willingness to commit collusion.
If this BuzzFeed News report is true, then we are likely on our way to possible impeachment proceedings.
If this story is true, we must begin impeachment proceedings.
This is suborning perjury. I think there's no question it's an impeachable offense.
And at that point, we are in high crimes and misdemeanor, and we are in impeachment territory.
Right. This president needs to be impeached.
Impeachment is the remedy. I mean, the president can't...
It's the only remedy.
The spirit of what Trump did is clearly treasonous.
This is moving into perjury, false statements, and even into potentially treason.
There's outright treason. I mean, there is no question.
I think he's feeling the noose around his neck.
The noose is tightening. And I think they're shocked that the noose is tightening.
He feels the noose is tightening.
The noose is tightening.
The sound of hoofbeats of all those investigations catching up with Donald Trump must be loud in his ears.
He may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
People might go to jail
You're exactly right.
for the rest of their lives.
I think they're all going to jail. Well, I think they're all going to end up together in prison, and maybe that's a good thing. Oh, my God.
He has no idea that he's going down.
You're confident that at least some Trump associates will wind up in jail?
If I was betting, I would say yes.
Donald Trump Jr. gave us the dots. All we have to do is to connect them to see where this is going.
Sounds like Trump got the last laugh this weekend.
And he was clearly feeling vindicated by this report, 4-page report.
After a long investigation, after so many people have been so badly hurt, after not looking at the other side, where a lot of bad things happened, a lot of horrible things happened, a lot of very bad things happened for our country. It was just announced there was no collusion with Russia, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. There was no collusion with Russia. There was no obstruction and none whatsoever.
And he later went on to say that America, is the greatest place on earth to live.
Yes, 40 FBI agents, intelligence analysts, forensic accountants, and other professional staff. This is all detailed in the Barr letter. Special counsel Mueller issued more than 2,800 subpoenas, executed nearly 500 search warrants, obtained more than 230 orders for communication records, issued almost 50 orders authorizing use of pen registers, made 13 requests to foreign governments for evidence, and interviewed approximately 500 witnesses. And what did they come up with? Paul Manafort colluding with the Ukrainians and a bunch of other people tripping themselves up in interviews with the FBI. That's what they've come up with. Now, the collusion statement in the report, and as memorialized in the Barr letter, is unequivocal. The obstruction statement is not. And this is a point that Alan Dershowitz picked up on with his in his response on Fox over the weekend to what Mueller decided, that his punting on obstruction is a problem. That's not what a prosecutor is supposed to do.
I'm probably going to be the only person on your show who is going to be very critical of Mueller. I thought it was a cop-out for him to say that there was not enough evidence to indict, but it's not an exoneration.
On obstruction.
And we're going to put a report out on obstruction. We're going to put a report out which says on the one hand, on the other hand. It sounds like a law school exam. That's not the job of the prosecutor. The job of the prosecutor is to decide, yes, or no. Make a decision. And then if you say yes, you indict. If you say no, you shut up. You don't go on and say, no, we're not going to indict, but let me tell you all the evidence that might have led us to indict. That's exactly what prosecutors shouldn't do. That's exactly what Comey did. How is this different than Comey? Comey says, I'm not going to indict Hillary Clinton, but let me tell you, it was a close case. She had all of this stuff, and she was extremely careless, and she did terrible things, but we're not going to indict her. That's not what prosecutors do. So I challenge defenders of defenders of Mueller to distinguish what Mueller did in relation to obstruction of justice to what Comey did in relation to her email and why she wasn't indicted on that. I don't see a big difference.
Yeah, it's an important point that Dershowitz makes in terms of Mueller punting. Also, understand, this is why prosecutors have to make a call one way or the other, because it's one-sided. The investigation, the secret grand jury proceedings are one-sided. There's no cross-examination, and thus there's no ability to confront accusers. So
there's evidence of obstruction of justice, but not which rises to criminal charges.
No.
Okay, that's what CNN was saying this morning.
I don't care what CNN is saying.
But that's why
here's the
real answer, Dan.
Well, but here's the point that Dershowitz is making. So the prosecution either goes forward and refers for indictment based on the evidence that we have. Here's the evidence, or you say nothing. You don't, as Dershowitz would say, he's a bad boy, but I'm not going to refer for charges, because how do you defend yourself against that? It's completely one-sided. And so Dershowitz's point is a salient one. Just so we understand here, this is from Barr's letter. The special counsel's investigation did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia in its efforts to influence the 2016 presidential election. Period. On the obstruction of justice, while this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. That's what Dershowitz is criticizing.
Yeah, that's what the Democrats are,
hanging their hat on.
Well, they're salivating all over it. And Nadler, yesterday said, "Oh, folks, don't celebrate. This is far from over."
The president has not been exonerated by the special counsel, yet the attorney general has decided not to go further, or apparently to share those findings with the public. We cannot simply rely on what may be a hasty, partisan interpretation of the facts. Earlier this month,
you know the rest. I mean, it's
well,
just...
so that's what So what Nadler's doing, because these people are shameless. One conspiracy theory fails, so you open up a new one, and that's the new conspiracy theory is that Barr is in the tank for Trump. And so what exactly? So Barr is mischaracterizing Mueller's report, and Mueller is going to allow that to occur? Or Barr's not going to pick up the evidence that Mueller said didn't rise to the level of referring for indictment and prosecute based on evidence? Based on what evidence exactly? Based on a non-referral from your special counsel, who you said from the outset, that man's word is gold. That man's an American hero. That man's an American treasure. I name my dog after that man.
Right. America's prosecutor, who both the Democrats and Republicans, confirmed without a problem just a few months ago. I mean, they trusted him, both sides, the Democrats and Republicans, but now they're questioning his loyalties because they don't like the outcome of the report.
Well, right. Listen,
which is such a joke.
You want to listen to Joy Reid at MSNBC. I know that's a punchline in and of itself, but listen to this.
But the fact that this investigation takes place within the Justice Department, which Donald Trump essentially controls, and that he got rid of the problem, Jeff Sessions, who the one decent thing that he did was just recuse himself. This guy is not recused. It feels like the seeds of a cover-up are here.
So now, so you have to understand. So now Putin's influence has been extended. The operator of Trump has been compromised, so now they've had to trigger the operator of Bob Mueller, and William Barr, and anyone else who doesn't want to impeach President Trump. Robert in Oak Brook.
Good morning, kids. My question is, why don't the Republicans grow a pair of kahunas and go after the Democrats? The Democrats are not going to let up. They're going to go full-blown. And every Republican I've heard on TV went, we should just move on. And the Democrats are not going to do that.
Good. I don't want the Democrats to move on. Do you? I don't want them to move on. I want them to stay right here.
Because I think they'll find so much dirt on themselves, and then it'll be fun to watch them try and hide that.
Well, thanks for the call, Robert. I think it's going to be fun because the positions that Jared Nadler and Maxine Waters are taking are untenable and unsupported by any evidence. Before the Mueller report.
And what
But before the Mueller report, you had half the country agreeing with Trump that it was a witch hunt. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen after they double and triple down, if that's what they intend to do? And certainly some of them do. In the absence of any evidence and in the absence of this unequivocal statement by Bob Mueller with respect to the matter that initiated the special counsel's investigation in the first place, colluding with Russia. Where do you go from there, Democrats? More conspiracy theories? Bring them on. I love it.
And did you see all the 2020 Democratic hopefuls? Bernie Sanders, I don't want a summary of the Mueller report. I want the whole damn report. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
And to the whole...
This is, conspiracy theory in of itself.
Well, right. And, oh, by the way, no one is disagreeing. President Trump said last week, let the people see the report. And Barr...
He has the power to do that. President Trump does.
Well, he does. Barr, though, said in his letter, look, there are other open investigations. So the Southern District of New York, for example, is essentially what he's referencing. So you don't want me to compromise those investigations. So I'm going to process what I have, what's included in this report, up against federal statute, and then I'll release what I can release. That's essentially what he said. So, okay, fine with that. The funny thing about Bernie and Nadler and No Justice, No Peace, Maxine, all these, release the whole report. Who's arguing with you? Oh, Nadler, you want to rope Mueller before your House Judiciary Committee? Go ahead. Yeah, do it. Keep it up. Keep it up. Don't change a thing, conspiracy Democrats.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I had a revival.
Then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
Oh, I love the modestly priced pillow, MyPillow Giza Dream bed sheets. They use the world's best cotton called Giza, grown in regions near the Mediterranean and Nile River. It's ultra soft, breathable, extremely durable. It includes full 21-inch wide pillowcases that fit any pillow and deep pocket sheets that fit any mattress. And once you sleep on them, you won't want to sleep on anything else. They are the real deal, folks, that look good and feel great, which means a better night's sleep. And you can still get the MyPillow 4-pack offer, plus 30% off pet beds, mattress toppers, and those Giza sheets, plus free shipping. All you have to do is go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in the promo code for 30% off all of their products, plus free shipping. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
It's March, and for many of us, that means allergy season, and our friends at Balance of Nature have an incredible Madness in March discount that I'll tell you about in just a second. But first, Balance of Nature. Think of it this way, 10 servings of fruits and veggies in a single capsule, because we all know how important getting our daily dose of fruits and veggies is, especially when it comes to staying healthy this spring. Don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Boost your immune system right now, just like I'm doing, and get Balance of Nature today. I met Dr. Douglas Howard, founder and creator of Balance of Nature. He actually showed me the process that they go through to put the fruits and veggies into a capsule. There's no dyes or preservatives. And he shared with me emails from real people who are taking a Balance of Nature and are feeling better and living healthier lives. And that can be you too. And today only, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use this promo code, AmyJ5, A-M-Y, the letter J, the number 5, all one word, AmyJ5, and you will receive $25 off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, promo code AmyJ5, all one word, when you visit balanceofnature.com or call 800-246-8751.
AM 560, The Answer.
To see Jim Comey's tweet in response to the Barr letter on the Mueller report?
I didn't.
A picture of a man in a forest, so many questions.
Oh, he's such a high school drama queen, isn't he?
Lindsey Graham retweeted, could not agree more, see you soon. Oh. All right, we'll pick up more of our discussion on Mueller and the reckoning for the D.C. press corps at 5:38.
And we'll be taking your phone calls all morning long, 312-642-5600. Also, Robert Kraft speaks. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
34 degrees, 5:30. 7 are wounded severely after a rocket attack this morning on a residential community north of Tel Aviv, Israel. Israeli authorities say rockets were fired from Gaza, slamming into the area this morning. It's prompting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to announce he will cut short his visit to Washington. President Trump is back at the White House after a triumphant weekend at his resort in Florida. Attorney General William Barr released a summary of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report, concluding the Trump campaign did not cooperate with with those who would claim they were interfered with by Russia in the 2016 presidential campaign. Michigan Republican Congressman Paul Mitchell, a skeptic early on, appears to be satisfied with the report.
Rod Rosenstein is not exactly a golf buddy of the president, okay? And they reviewed it and determined the fact there wasn't any reason to proceed with any action or concerns that the president had obstructed justice.
New York Congressman Jerry Nadler, however, claims the president's conclusions are wrong.
President Trump is wrong. This report does not amount to a so-called total exoneration. Special Counsel Mueller was clear that his report, quote, does not exonerate, close quote, the president.
Senator Ted Cruz says the House majority is determined to try and impeach the president regardless of the findings of the Mueller investigation.
If anyone thinks that the Mueller report being concluded is the end of the Democrats' attempt to take down President Trump, they haven't been paying attention the last 2 years.
Cruz argued the special counsel investigation went on far too long and therefore undermined all of its credibility. Boeing has apparently started testing software changes to the grounded 737 MAX 8 aircraft. Pilots for Southwest, American, and United this weekend tested out software changes Boeing developed for a key stabilization system. Grower in San Diego is recalling avocados sold in bulk in grocery stores. The recall follows routine testing that found the fruit may be contaminated with listeria. The avocados were sold in these states so far: California, Arizona, Florida, New Hampshire, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. Apple is inviting the media to an event today, the tech giant calling the event Showtime. Apple is expected to announce its rumored Apple News and a streaming television service. The man suspected of killing an off-duty Chicago police officer this weekend reportedly had applied to join the force. John Rivera went to the River North Nightlife District after finishing a shift on Friday night, and while inside a parked car overnight Saturday, was shot and later died at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Illinois agriculture officials this morning say the number of farms in the state is going down and the remaining operations are growing larger. The state has 71,000 farms, down from 241,000 farms about 100 years ago. The German family that owns controlling interest in Krispy Kreme and Panera Bread is donating millions to charity this morning after learning details of the family's Nazi past. The Ryman family saying they knew of their ancestors' support for the Third Reich, but did not know how deep that support went. New details have come to light about how extensively the family used forced labor of Russian and French prisoners during World War II. Blackhawks 2-1 winners over Colorado at the United Center. Hawks now take a night off before heading to Arizona Tuesday in another playoff critical matchup. Cubs over San Diego. White Sox a win over their division rival Cleveland 7-3. 5:34 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity always gives you the truth.
The witch hunt we've been through now for almost 3 years that began in July of 2016. That's when it started. And remember, we learned through Paige and Strzok's testimony last week that after 9 months investigating this, before the appointment of Mueller, they found no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, not even a single bit of it.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Remke's Garage, repairing America.
Your Sprinter or light-duty diesel is the lifeblood of your business. You can't afford to have just anyone care for this major piece of equipment. You wouldn't go to an eye doctor to fix your knee, so don't go to any shop to fix your Sprinter, Duramax, Cummins, or Power Stroke vehicle. Go to the experts at Remke's Garage. Remke's Garage doesn't just fix a problem, they find a solution. Remke's goal is to make sure you never lose a dollar of business. That's why owner Joe Remke sits with you and creates a maintenance plan specific to your unique vehicle. Go to Remke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Sprinter and light-duty diesel vehicles. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty on all parts. They'll even pick up, deliver, and offer you a loaner vehicle free of charge. Go to Remke'sGarage.com to schedule your free maintenance plan consultation.
Remke's Garage, repairing America.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
5:37. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. In Hammond, starting today, work is scheduled to close the left lane of Calumet Avenue in both directions between Sibley and Michigan. This work is set to go till Saturday, June 1st. Right now in Wheaton, an accident being reported on Naperville near Butterfield Road. And downtown, an accident on State at Hubbard. On the Edens, we've got no delays to report either direction. Kennedy's wide open both ways. Eisenhower is 29 in or out between 390 and downtown. Stevenson inbound between Pulaski and Kedzie. Traffic a little bit slow, about 35 in from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. No outbound delays. That's traffic. I'm Al Verde on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, sunny, breezy, and cooler today, a high of 41. Clear, quite cold overnight. Low 27 and a sunny day ahead tomorrow. Chilly, high 43. 34 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
President of the United States of America, Donald.
On the shoulder. You adjust the microphone as you told, man.
For their gracious aid.
No, that was the screams you heard around the tables at MSNBC and CNN over the weekend. Meanwhile, President Trump very concerned about what would be contained in the Mueller report and Barr's summary. So concerned that he spent the weekend golfing with Kid Rock. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Those,
yeah, Kid Rock's pants. I want a pair of those for a golf outing.
the flag pants?
Oh, yeah, those are hot.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get a pair before we go to Puerto Vallarta.
312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. I want the Democrats to keep it up. Whatever their latest, greatest Richard Condon knockoff is, keep it up. Don't stop. Change nothing, including all the Dem Socialist candidates for president. I want them to continue to triple down and essentially offer what No Justice, No Peace Maxine did over the weekend, that, look, it wasn't over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, and it's not over now.
This president has a way of trying to get into people's heads and indoctrinate them. He's been saying no collusion, no collusion, no collusion over and over again for a long time now. And he's going to try and conclude that this report is proving that there's no collusion. And you have a lot of his sycophants who will, take the nod from him, and they'll say the same thing. But we cannot allow them to get away with this. He does this all the time. This is not the end of anything. This is it's the end of the report and the investigation by Mueller. But those of us who chair these committees have a responsibility to continue with our oversight.
Yeah,
there's so much that needs to be, taken a look at this point. And so it's not the end of everything.
No, of course not. And I'll tell you what, she's right. Mueller concluding that there was no collusion by Trump or anyone associated with his campaign. Obviously, per Maxine Waters, Bob Mueller needs to be prosecuted and impeached. And imprisoned.
I mean, I think Democrats have the problem now, but I'm with you, Dan. Keep it coming. Keep it going. Have committee hearings. Let's go. Full blown, because they want the public to see the full report.
I am willing to entertain whatever black helicopter conspiracy theory Adam Schiff, the congressman from Area 51, has to offer, because I'm sure he'll spin his way out of this. At least in his own mind. But I want to hear him. I mean, I want the creative writers on the staffs of Schiff and Maxine Waters and Nadler and the rest of them, AOC, of course, all the presidential aspirants that are members of Congress, go to work. Let us have it. Don't let Trump get away with being exonerated on the matter which initiated the special counsel investigation.
I personally want an apology from CNN, and I loved what Dershowitz said yesterday about them.
So, look, this is a good day for the president. It's a very, very bad day for CNN. I have to tell you, there should be hanging their head in shame when you think about how many people went out on a limb and predicted there would be indictments for obstruction, there would be indictments for collusion, there would be indictments for this and for that. They made it seem like it was an open and shut case, and they misinformed the American public. And they have to have some public accountability when you say things that turn out not to be true.
They were brainwashing the American people, not Trump, Maxine Waters.
Let's go to Bert in Lake Zurich here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, what's happening? And Amy. Hey, I just wanted to let you know I was out at Brandt's in Palatine for dinner on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I would take an unscientific poll of everybody eating there. And I asked, who thinks Dan Proft is an elitist snob? And everybody's hand went up.
All right, because it's unanimous.
You know.
All right,
and
great.
then I talked to the proprietor of
and
that
they've been
fine
listening.
establishment.
That's good. Jim Uriel? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he said that he extended multiple invitations to you to come out, and you told him that the northwest suburbs were too blue collar for you.
Yeah, right. We didn't do that.
Have a great morning.
Thanks for the cover. I do want to do a remote from Brant's and
'cause
Palatine.
I want to check out the burgers.
Yeah.
And I love free food, and I know you do too.
I'm glad the
it's free.
patrons are listening, though. That's good. Mark on the south side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The Democrats have floated the theory for a while that the president was hiding his tax returns because of his business dealings with Russia. Isn't the probability pretty high that during this investigation, Mueller's seen those tax returns and that's going to be discredited down the line?
Thanks for the comment. I mean, what Mueller saw or didn't see, 2,800 subpoenas, 40 FBI agents, intelligence analysts, forensic accountants, other professional staff poring over all of the documents they obtained, 500 search warrants, 230 orders for communication records, and so on and so forth.
500 witnesses, 2.5 years, $25 million. Team of attorneys. I mean, I think they did their homework here.
Obviously, it radiated out from the initial raison d'etre of the special counsel's investigative team to cover a lot of areas. And so when there was one dead end, you had a new conspiracy theory. It's really about the business records and Trump's business dealings. And no, then it's
money payments.
It's about obstruction. I mean, and Andy McCarthy has had this sussed out from the beginning. It was always an impeachment investigation, and it was always about obstruction, but they had to keep up appearances about Russian collusion. But they did so to their detriment, because now that there was never any evidence presented along the way, because there was never any evidence to present, and now Mueller has forestalled continuing that line of argument, they've destroyed their credibility, and so has the D.C. press corps.
And Nadler was on CNN about a week ago and saying that the Russian collusion is because of the Trump Tower meeting with Donald Jr., where he got, dirt on Hillary Clinton. And nobody even pushed back and said, well, what? We don't even know for sure if that is exactly what happened. Even if it did, why is opposition research a crime?
It's real simple.
It's not.
It's real simple. Nadler, Schiff, Maxine, they have said, Nadler said there's no doubt the president obstructed justice. Well, there is doubt because Mueller doesn't agree with you. Ask for evidence, to his credit, by Jake Tapper. He has none. They're working on it. Collusion, we have evidence. Obstruction, we have evidence. Republicans, for the last 2 years, prove it. Prove it up. Devin Nunes was ridiculed when the House Intelligence Committee issued their report on their investigation. Now who looks like they were being straight based on the evidence that was available, and who was spinning a ghost story to try and score political points and gaslight the American public? And the question is, are there going to be political repercussions? I hope so. I don't know. With some of these folks, but I hope so. Dan in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, I do not believe you're an elitist. Let's get that straight.
All right, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that defense. Yeah.
Thanks for taking my call. This whole thing with the media, I wish somebody would do what I do as an employer when I have an employee who's being negative about whatever suggestion we have. They always want to try and go somewhere negative and base it on how they feel. I simply ask one question. Please share the facts on which you base this assertion.
Yeah.
And I get crickets.
Right. I think, you know what the fact is? Thanks for the call, Dan. The fact is this. I don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, you're entitled to not like him, but these people have accused the President of the United States of treason for 2 years. Of treason. And there are no repercussions for that? Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Wait. Oh, there we go. Hey, Greg.
Dan, you'll know you are somebody when you get a promo code with a number after it, like Amy has.
It's true. I'm not
There
anybody.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the Mueller report was the best we could get. You knew they were going to put a passive-aggressive phrase in the end that would give the Democrats a platform to do what exactly they're doing right now. But the definitive yes or no binary nature that Dershowitz was asking for was clear on most of it, and consequently we couldn't have asked for anything better. Now, the next issue, and this is absolutely crucial, if they do not go after Hillary and everybody else that is in the Obama Chicago Way network, then we have a travesty of justice, and we have repivoted justice. And Dan, therefore, in your lawyerly way, there is no reason why that can't happen based on what Comey did, correct?
Well, there's no reason it can happen, but there's no way it's going to happen. I will tell you that. I mean,
Why?
Because there's just no appetite for it. There's no appetite to. I mean, Dershowitz's point, I think, is the salient one. Whether you think it's proper or not, it's the reality. The reality is this: there's no appetite for it. It would further politicize an already politicized and devastated Justice Department, and frankly, from a political perspective, as I've said, I'd rather see one side going off into the wilderness and all of these trails and obsessing about Russian collusion and obstruction of justice sans evidence for the next year and a half leading into 2020. So let them do it.
Dan, one last point. Then to pick up on the Dan Proft principle basis on which you base everything, which is to be applauded, standing applause, then we go forth in this country, henceforth, with a double-tiered justice structure with obvious criminality on the most basic democratic level of this country that Hillary and Obama and all of those people pulled off. That's unacceptable.
Thanks for the call, Greg. Look, I agree with that. I do agree with that on the substance, on the merits. And there are some opportunities for somewhat of a reckoning for FBI. Remember, you still have the IG's report, the Horowitz report. You still have a criminal referral on Deputy Director McCabe. You have Lindsey Graham tweeting ominously back at Comey over the weekend to the questions he has. Yeah, I have some too. I can't wait to see you again. Whistling him back before Congress, perhaps. So maybe there will be there's certainly the opportunity for reckoning at the upper reaches of the FBI. But to go all the way back to the Hillary campaign after Comey's pronouncement, the decision by the previous Justice Department, apparently in concert with the FBI, to not pursue charges against Hillary, to revisit that, I don't think it's going to happen. Here's Kim Strassel on the topic, though, on the real scandal. And she writes, consistent with what Greg is saying, the Americans now deserve a full accounting of the missteps of former Director Comey and his team. In part, so this never happens again. This includes what evidence did the FBI have? In totality, what efforts did the Bureau take to verify it? Did it corroborate anything before launching its probe? What role did political players play? How aware was the FBI that it was being gulled into a dirty trick operation? And if so, how did it justify proceeding? How intrusive were the FBI methods? And who was harmed? She goes on to say if Mueller had done his job properly, his report would address some of this. Maybe it does. We haven't seen the complete report. Probably not. A Mueller report that doesn't mention the dossier and its political provenance or questionable news stories used to justify surveillance warrants, for instance, is a report that is playing politics. True. So here's what I would say to that. There's a way to have some of a reckoning with the upper echelon of the FBI, as I said. In addition to that, there is the ability to at least do investigative work to get some of the answers to some of the questions Strassel is raising, all of which are legitimate. Paul in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi. So you talk about the Democrats losing all credibility. When did they ever have any? I mean, they went back and called George W. Bush a war criminal, and that we went to Iraq and we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. We did. And then over the whole 8 years of Obama, they lied about, health care and everything else. They never get called on their crap. They never get called on their lies. So what difference does it make now?
Well,
when it comes to
thanks for the call, Paul.
Election time, they get called out on their crap.
Well, right. I mean, I take his point, but this was an investigation into the President of the United States, accusations of treason. And now they've definitively been proven untrue by somebody the left has said is a paragon of integrity, and we will take whatever Mueller finds. It really boxes them in. I'm not saying that we'll chasten them or change their conduct, but it boxes them into all or for all reasonable people in this country.
Well, I think
open-minded
some Democrats
people
are still processing this.
Well, I'm sure they are.
Oh yeah, all weekend long, and no further indictments either, which I thought was huge. In the
Correct. There were no sealed indictments.
No
that was
sealed, yep.
important. Right. Much to the chagrin of John Brennan, who was predicting quite the opposite. There's another reckoning, at least in terms of public standing. John Brennan and clap on, clap off, James Clapper. Scott and Aurora, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention yesterday, I mean, I couldn't wait to get home and actually turn on CNN. I really wanted to hear what they had to say, and it's always good to hear both sides of the story. But one of the commentators they had on was mentioning how there's so much hate from both sides, and they were mentioning, hate from the right. And the one thing that they say that even at the places that they go to now, everybody's chanting "lock her up" about Hillary, and they're like, well, when's that hate going to end? And the funny thing to me was, it's like, yeah, it's going to end when they lock her up. Because I think out of this whole thing, I mean, we're finding out more and more about what she did wrong and what the left did wrong than we did about what anybody else did wrong. So it's just, if there's going to be any indictments, I think it should be, people on the left more than anything.
Thanks for the call, Scott. Well, certainly the Russian collusion, to the extent that there was anything discernible, came a lot closer to Hillary Clinton's campaign through her op research vendor, former MI6 agent Christopher Steele, through Fusion GPS than it did Trump, it would appear. Also, this on the media from Glenn Greenwald, The Intercept, who's been saying and again, he's no Trump apologist, saying from the beginning there's nothing to the Trump-Russian collusion investigation, that it was something approximating what Trump said it was, a witch hunt. He tweeted, "It'd be so nice to get reacquainted with my old MSNBC friends who I so enjoyed talking to during the Bush years and early Obama years, but mysteriously and sadly haven't heard from over the last 2 years. Let's do lunch or a TV segment about what just happened and MSNBC's role in it." Wouldn't that be delightful?
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Mary, the child you bear will become the greatest of men.
From the network that brought you the Bible,
there has been talk about Jesus. They say he's healing the sick.
Comes the life of Jesus Christ.
His preaching is what concerns me. He's helping people.
From those who knew him best.
We are his followers. We've seen him do wondrous things.
I am the resurrection and the life.
Jesus, his life. Tonight at 8 on History.
Congress, Casson and Underwood are trying to push back the tax deadline. They're going to propose a bill this week or next week in D.C. to push it back to May because of the government shutdown. But that's not going to happen. Tax time, tax day, April 15th deadline is right around the corner. And if you haven't filed your tax return in the past few years or for several years, or maybe you're just in debt to the IRS and don't know what to do or who to turn to, I want you to write down this name and number or save it on your phone. Attorney Stephen Leahy. Yes, Attorney Stephen Leahy. His number is 312-664-6649. 312-664-6649. Stephen will help you. Stephen is a friend of mine and a friend of AM 560s. He's not a friend of Dan's. And he's host of the IRS Radio Hour.
Because he's a Cubs fan.
Yes, that's right. He's host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard here every Sunday afternoon at 5. You can trust Attorney Leahy to help solve your IRS problems. He's local right here in Chicago. He's available to meet with you one-on-one. If you fear the IRS will take your money, bank account, wages, visit you at your home or job, and now they can even take your passport, then you need to talk to the trusted attorney, Stephen Leahy of AM 560. Again, his number is 312-664-6649. Attorney Leahy will solve your IRS problems for good. The number again, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. That's ChicagoTaxTeam.com.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
I spoke to one person and, I asked him a simple question is, what do you want to do with your retirement? And he said, I want to protect it. because if it does go down and not come back, do you have enough time in the market to recover those losses?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist, Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
WIND.
President Trump says he was exonerated. Democrats say he was not. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the back and forth after a summary of the Mueller report was released. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. That's the finding of special counsel Robert Mueller in a 4-page summary released by Attorney General William Barr. Speaking to reporters before leaving Florida, the president called the Russia probe
an illegal takedown that failed.
Pointing out he was also cleared of obstruction of justice.
It was a complete and total exoneration.
But Barr wrote that Mueller could not draw a conclusion on obstruction, leaving the decision to the Attorney General, who cleared him, citing a lack of evidence. Dave?
Rachel, Democrats are hardly satisfied with that. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler wants to call Barr to testify.
The Attorney General's comments make it clear that Congress must step in to get the truth and provide full transparency to the American people.
The Democratic presidential candidates, including Bernie Sanders, also demanding the full Mueller report be released.
Because nobody, especially this president, is above the law.
President Trump will meet at the White House today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who will then cut his trip to the U.S. short because of more tension with the Palestinians. Those sirens wailed, woke people up around 5 a.m. Then a rocket hit central Israel, landing on a house, destroying it, wounding 7 people. New Zealand has opened its highest level of investigation, a royal commission of inquiry into the massacres at 2 Christchurch mosques that left 50 people dead.
Questions, of course, need to be answered around whether or not this was the activities of an individual that we could or should have known about.
That's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. And in Texas, an El Paso County Sheriff's deputy who was shot at a traffic stop early Friday has died of his injuries. This is Fox News.
34 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The man suspected of killing an off-duty Chicago police officer reportedly had planned on joining the police force. John Rivera went to the River North Nightlife District after finishing a shift on Friday night. And then while inside a parked vehicle Saturday, he was shot and later died at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. According to Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, the alleged gunman's bid to be a Chicago police officer ended after he was arrested on a home invasion charge. All of the members of the Chicago area's Democrat congressional delegation have gone on record reacting to the release of the summary of the Mueller Russia probe. They're all on the same page. They say the full report needs to be made available to the public. Police in Gary, Indiana, investigating a double homicide after 2 people were found fatally shot. According to police, they were called to 3rd Avenue off Dunes Highway late Saturday night. They found a woman and a young boy dead. Police have released photographs of 2 men that they would like to talk to. Dubai's government is denying that R&B singer R. Kelly booked concerts in that city. It's a rare statement from the Dubai media office directly contradicting Kelly's lawyer's motion, asking a Cook County judge to grant the singer permission to travel to Dubai for concerts and for meetings with the royal family. Duncan Keith scored less than 2 minutes into overtime Blackhawks 2-1 winners over Colorado at the UC. Hawks have a night off. They head to Arizona Tuesday in another playoff critical matchup. Cubs rout San Diego 24-6 in spring ball, while the White Sox were 7-3 winners over Cleveland. The news is a service of Ace, the helpful place. It's the buy one, get one free paint sale at Ace, their biggest paint sale of the year. Buy a gallon of their top paint and get a second free. Their paint experts will ask the right questions to make sure you have everything you need to get the job done right. Now through Monday, only at Ace, limit 2 free gallons of equal or lesser value. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their next hire. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor hires are committed. They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Don't let someone else make money off of your money. Take control of your income and your future. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and I'm talking about Online Trading Academy. They're the leader in trading and investing education. With courses offered throughout Chicagoland, including East Peoria, Valparaiso, Lombard, you can learn about ways to generate income and protect your retirement. I attended a class at Online Trading Academy and learned so much. And you too can jump into a free class. Just call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132. And if you call right now, they will send you home with their Professionals Insider Kit. It's loaded with exclusive investing courses and some of their best lessons from the pros. Limited opportunity and seats go quickly. Call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132. Or visit them online at otaclass.com.
Staples has the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. This week, buy one HP Office Jet Pro ink cartridge and get a second 30% off, so you can stock up and save. Offer ends 3/30/19. Restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/HPBOGO for details. Staples.
It is 6:07. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. On the Edens, we've got no delays either way, so 19 in or out from Lake Cook to the Kennedy Junction. Kennedy inbound taps the brakes from Canfield to Nagle, 22 in O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, it's slow Foster to Sayre, then the O'Hare extension backs up a little bit between the Kennedy and Mannheim. Again, 26 out to O'Hare. Eisenhower inbound, that's a 34-minute ride from 390 into the Circle. Slows First Avenue to Harlem, again from Damon into the Byrne interchange. Outbound, no delays. Stevenson in, that's 40 from 355 to Lakeshore Drive there. It slows Harlem to Pulaski. Outbound is fine, and Dan Ryan in a 22-minute trip from 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Al Verdi on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Jillian Ford.
Lakeshore flood advisory in effect until 1 p.m. today. Mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler with a high of 41. Mainly clear and cold tonight with a low of 27. Mostly sunny and chilly tomorrow with a high of 43. I'm Jillian Ford on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Sunday mornings starting at 8.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The D.C. press corps did not have a good weekend, and here's my response, all right?
Okay.
As conservatives...
Do you have a picture in the woods like Comey?
No, I am not openly ruminating man's existence, which, if a Comey falls in the forest and it doesn't make a sound.
Did it really fall?
Was it really ever the FBI director? Here's my suggestion, though, for the D.C. press corps, okay? All right? This is where we're gracious and charitable to our fellow man and woman. Remember this, okay? Joy Reid, Larry O'Donnell, whoever else is on MSNBC, I don't know. Most of the MSNBC hosts have tax problems.
Right, that's right.
Brian Williams is lucky to have a job.
Barely hanging on. But he's hanging on.
Over at CNN, yeah, Chris Cuomo could lean on his brother to get him a transit job if that doesn't work out. But the rest of the hapless CNN cardboard people, where are they going to go? So
I want an apology from them.
No.
Wait,
No apologies. No, please. Don't make them defile themselves any further. Just watch the stations, but watch them in the proper context with the proper attitude as high dungeon of self-caricature. It's enjoyable. If you look at it from the right angle, these are fun times to consume CNN and MSNBC. So just keep them on the air, because otherwise they're going to be wards of the state and we're going to have to pay for them.
I mean, they've actually been stunned into silence. They were shocked. I mean, I don't know if you want to hear from Philip Mudd, but he's a former FBI agent who defended Barr's 4-page report, and they couldn't speak afterward.
Well, I think it's interesting. In the space of 1 weekend, aside from the National Basketball Tournament, which is far more significant than this, we went from the president being at great risk to, I think, Democrats going into some risk. Look, America's prosecutor said no collusion. Everybody agreed, Democrats and Republicans, that whatever he said was gold. Bob, the Attorney General was firm with everybody, including Democrats in Congress, realizing that the one significant question he'd face is how he handled the Mueller investigation. Now people are saying, we're not confident he handled it well after we just confirmed him. I think Democrats have a problem here, and it's not just the document. It's bringing Mueller up for a hearing on the Hill, and I think he will go up on the Hill, and that is, be careful about sour grapes. If the people that you said were the most respectable prosecutors on the planet didn't reach a firm conclusion, going in front of the American people and saying we, the Democrats, in a partisan way, are going to reach a different conclusion, I want to see that show. That's going to be interesting.
And literally, everyone's like, it was nervous laughter. You hear Allison come like,
wait a second.
Wait, did somebody?
Is he talking to us?
What do we, John, what do I do? What do we do?
Here's.
I mean, they were crawling out of their skin. It was so enjoyable this morning.
Allison, Don Lamone, the others. Let me try and translate what Phil Mudd's trying to tell you. In your effort to prevent Trump from having one term, you just guaranteed him two.
Hey-o.
All right? Okay. So let's just move on and have fun now that the 2020 has been settled.
And Trump did have fun. I mean, do you know how he was so reserved? He didn't even tweet all weekend. He went golfing with Kid Rock.
Sure.
He had a fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago. He came back to D.C., was elated.
I just want to tell you that America is the greatest place on earth. The greatest place on earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Matt Taibbi, Rolling Stone reporter and an author. Just some context on him. He wrote a book called The Insane Clown President about Trump. Okay, so just factor that in when you listen to some excerpts. You should read his entire piece. It's quite lengthy. But his review of the D.C. press corps' handling of the Mueller investigation of the last 2 years. Russiagate is this generation's WMD, is what he writes. This is a liberal, right? Insane clown president gives you a hint. Hardly a flack for President Trump. Nothing Trump is accused of from now on by the press will be believed by huge chunks of the population. A group that, perhaps thanks to this story, is now larger than his original base. Stories have been coming out for some time now, hinting Mueller's final report might leave audience disappointed, quote unquote, as if a president not being a foreign spy could somehow be bad news. Openly using such language has all along been an indictment. Imagine how tone deaf you'd have to be to not realize it makes you look bad when news does not match audience expectations you raised. To be unaware of this is mind-boggling, the journalistic equivalent of walking outside without pants. There will be people protesting. The Mueller report doesn't prove anything. What about the 37 indictments, the convictions, the Trump Tower revelations, the lies, the meeting with Don Jr., the financial matters? There's an ongoing grand jury investigation and possible sealed indictments, and the House will still investigate. And stop. Just stop. Any journalist who goes there is making it worse. For years, every pundit and Democrat Paul in Washington hyped every new Russia headline like the Watergate break-in. Now, even Nancy Pelosi has said impeachment is out. The biggest thing this unfair has uncovered so far is Trump paying off a porn star. That's a hell of a long way from what this business was supposedly about at the beginning, and shame on any reporter who tries to pretend this isn't so. The story hyped from the start was espionage, a secret relationship between the Trump campaign and Russian spooks who helped him win the election. Okay? Matt Taibbi on that. I mean, this couldn't be more of a comprehensive destruction of the work product of most of the D.C. press corps over the last 2 years. From a lot of quarters that are not allied in any such way with Trump. But how do you argue with what Matt Taibbi had to say? How do you argue? I mean, remember, by the way, to his credit, Terry Moran on ABC News a couple weeks ago on one of their Sunday panels having to indulge nonsense from Clinton Foundation Donor Zero and the rest of the panel. Matt Dowd, for that matter. Out
of Texas, yeah, man.
The Republican, quote unquote, on the panel, who's, basically was just a little bit right of Donna Brazile. Terry Moran on the press, depending on what comes of the Mueller report.
How big a deal is it if they don't find collusion for the president?
Huge. He's cleared if Robert Mueller comes back. Mueller became a folk hero in the United States. Robert De Niro.
Even if he finds all sorts of things.
Sure. No, but the central and most serious question in this investigation, the reason Robert Mueller started it, is did the current president of the United States assist the Kremlin in an attack on our democracy? And if Mueller, after 2 years, comes back and says, I don't have the evidence to support that charge, that's a reckoning. That's a reckoning for progressives and Democrats who hoped that Mueller would essentially erase the 2016 election. It's a reckoning for the media. It's a reckoning around the country if, in fact, after all this time, there was no collusion.
And so the question, again, is will the reckoning come to Democrats who have fanned these flames and, by the way, continue to do so? It's really going to be interesting to watch this play out because the AOCs and Nadlers and Schiffs and Maxine Waterses of the world really put the presidential Democrat socialist candidates in a bit of a box.
And they're all, saying we need to see the full report. We're not passing judgment. He's not exonerated yet. He's not in the free and clear. It goes on. And Nadler yesterday was, no, this isn't over.
First, President Trump is wrong. This report does not amount to a so-called total exoneration.
Yeah, right. I mean, they are grasping.
They're in the deep end with a 20-pound weight on their foot.
Glenn in Arlington Heights.
Yeah, good morning. With all of the fake information for the last 2.5 years from MSNBC and CNN, why aren't there advertisers pulling ads off those stations?
Well,
That's a good point.
That's a good question,
But
Glenn.
maybe they believe the same bull jive that they're believing.
Well,
that they're
that's
spewing.
To some extent, that's a part of it. That here's a dirty little secret that shouldn't be a secret to anybody. Corporate America, particularly like the Fortune 500, they're men and women of the left. So that's one aspect of it. They're fellow travelers. The other aspect of it is where's the pressure to do so? There aren't organized efforts to boycott stations if they don't drop advertisers on the right like they're on the left. There just aren't. Very rare. So it's a difference, I guess, in approach or attitude of people that have more of a center-right perspective than people who are unhinged socialists. Don in Arlington Heights.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, news flash to Democrats, liberals, rhino Republicans et al. If there's no collusion, there's no obstruction of justice. Can we move on now?
Okay. Thanks, Don.
Got a text message. I cannot wait to watch The View today. That's pretty sad that's a grown man texting me.
Tears of a clown.
Yeah.
I hope they play Smokey for Joy Behar. Yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to pick up, though, and it's interesting, Glenn's point about where the boycotts of those that were accusing the President of the United States of treason without foundation for 2 years. Consequences? I don't know. This musing from Peter Buttigieg, he's the South Bend mayor.
Oh, that's right. Who's contemplating whether or not he's going to run for president.
I mean, okay.
That's a name I will not be able to pronounce.
I just gave it to you. Yeah,
Buttigieg. Take it right?
Buttigieg?
Wait, what's his name?
No.
Say it one more
Buttigieg.
time. Buttigieg. I got your Buttigieg right here.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go tap that, huh? It's like a keg.
Here's what he said. I think a lot of folks are waiting for some piece of evidence to come along that finally proves once and for all that he's not a good guy, talking about Trump. And what they forget is that there are a lot of people where I live, and maybe a lot of people around here too, who know that he's not a good guy. Walked into the voting booth and voted to burn the house down because of some very deep issues that motivated them to send a message. Some which I think we should give no quarter to, like racism, but others of which deserve to be taken seriously. The sense of displacement and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So in response to that, Ross Douthat, a New York Times, tweeted, interesting and correct. Interesting and correct in response to what Buttigieg had to say. Is it? When you voted for Trump in 2016, did you vote to burn the house down? Is that what you think you were doing? Because I was Walker and then Cruz. But I don't ascribe the recklessness to Trump voters that Douthat does. I think that's reckless. And I think Douthat should know better. And to start from the premise of a talking point hack like Buttigieg, burn the house down. I'm sorry, what exactly was Trump saying during the campaign, or has he done as president that constitutes, quote unquote, burning the house down? Has he violated or not ascribed to rhetorical norms for President of the United States? Well, yes, his Twitter feed is evidence of that. Sure. But on policy choices, modest tax cuts, deficit spending, school choice, non-interventionism, but not unwilling to drop Moab on Syria, eradicate the caliphate, ISIS caliphate there, kind of on again, off again talks with North Korea, trying to move the needle there, may go somewhere, probably won't. But, I mean, it's not the first president to do it. Tariffs, not exactly the first president to do it. I don't agree with some of the things. I don't agree with deficit spending. I don't agree with tariffs. I don't agree with the lack of interest in rethinking entitlements. But is anything that the president has done policy-wise, appointing conservative or nominating and conservative judges, is anything so outside the D.C. conventions that you would characterize it as burning down the House? Hardly. What the hell is interesting about the false statement from some rank-and-file leftists? This is the problem on the right. And Dothat, unfortunately, is a good example of it all too often, even though I like him and respect his intellect greatly. We're always looking for a way to make their nonsense legitimate. Oh, he's got a point because I want to seem like I'm open-minded to nonsense. Nonsense. So I'm going to accept this premise of the left. Well, you start accepting the left's premises and you get the left's outcomes. That Trump is burning down some house. I mean, and there's, to talk about unaccountable, the never-Trumpers are being held to account for how wrong they've been, just in terms of their standing. The number of people that look to them for insight or essentially advice and counsel, direction. You start to, try and provide aid and comfort to somebody who seems rather innocuous. He's not a lunatic like Bernie Sanders. So by the Bernie Sanders Reparation H T-Bone Booker standard, Buttigieg looks like, oh, he's not so bad. Well, yeah, okay. So you're going to give quarter to idiotic statements like that? Foundation-free, fact-free statements like that? No, they should be challenged. The left challenges at every turn, regardless of the legitimacy of the challenge. We should challenge at every turn legitimately. And it's sad when conservatives like Dothat don't. Matt in South Bend, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Just wanted to say I think we need to play by international rules here, so let's take soccer. Trump's lost 2.5 years off his term, so we need to give him those 2.5 additional on his term now. So thank you very much, Matt from South Bend. I appreciate you. Take care.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. That's the first time I've ever actually appreciated a soccer reference.
First and only time.
Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Thanks for taking my call, Dan and Amy. Excellent comments this morning. I'm eagerly waiting to watch the 5 and Tucker Carlson tonight to hear what his liberal commentators have to say, namely Juan Williams or Chris Hahn.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Bob. We haven't had Juan on the show in a while. He got upset with me last time we were on. Maybe we should try and get him back. See if he's cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
Now that we got our Mueller report.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a Bible.
And then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
Oh, as you well know, it is March, and for many of us, that means allergy season. And our friends at Balance of Nature have an incredible Madness in March discount that we'll tell you about just in a few seconds. But first, you need to hear more about Balance of Nature. Think of it this way. 10 servings of fruits and veggies in a single capsule. No preservatives, no dyes. And we all know how important getting our daily dose of fruits and vegetables is, especially when it comes to staying healthy this spring. Don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Boost your immune system right now, just like I'm doing, and get Balance of Nature today. I spent time with Dr. Douglas Howard, his wife, his son. They're very passionate about Balance of Nature. They showed me how they compress the fruits and veggies into capsules. They read me some of the emails, played the voicemails of real people who are taking Balance of Nature and are feeling better and living healthier lives, and that can be you too. And today only, listen up, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code AMYJ5. That's AMY, the letter J, the number 5, all one word. And you will receive $25 off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, promo code AMYJ5, all one word, when you visit balanceofnature.com or call 800-246-8751. That's 888-246-8751.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
I spoke to one person and, I asked him a simple question is, what do you want to do with your retirement? And he said, I want to protect it. Because if it does go down and not come back, do you have enough time in the market to recover those losses?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, cybercriminals stole the W-2 forms from my friend's company.
Yeah, scammers impersonate CEOs in email and also launch attacks from compromised accounts.
What if they target us?
Don't worry. We have Barracuda Total Email Protection.
So we're secured?
Yes. Barracuda protects businesses of all sizes with artificial intelligence that blocks spear phishing, account takeover attempts, and business email compromise.
That's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Jim was a 48-year-old husband, father, and business owner. He understood the importance of life insurance to protect his family and business. Jim knew what happened with no life insurance. His own father died, leaving a wife and children with no financial resources. Jim vowed to have enough coverage. He purchased a life insurance policy from NCSF. When Jim lost his life in a tragic car accident, his family grieved. But Jim had planned, and his family and business were financially secure because of life insurance through NCSF. NCSF is a not-for-profit company that provides life insurance and member benefits that commercial carriers do not. Jim was secure in knowing he would provide his family with financial security. He also chose NCSF because of their commitment to give back to communities through philanthropic work. For Jim, NCSF membership was a great fit. Protecting your life matters to NCSF, and it should matter to you. Life insurance can make the road ahead easier for those you leave behind. Visit ncsf.com to learn about their life and annuity products and member benefits. Visit ncsf.com today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah, Smokey. Oh, it's not just going to be Pagliacci Schumer.
Everybody's going to be crying.
Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to continue our discussion of the Mueller report and the implications and the questions that it leaves unanswered for now with Jenna Ellis, who's a constitutional law attorney and former prosecutor. She will join us at 6:36.
And later, busted in a prostitution sting, Robert Kraft opens up for the first time to family and fans, plus the fight to get that video of the alleged crime. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
34 degrees, 7 wounded in a rocket attack this morning on a suburban community north of Tel Aviv, Israel. The attack prompting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to announce he will cut short his visit to Washington. President Trump touting the results of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe. Attorney General William Barr says no signs that the president colluded with Russia to influence the election were found. Barr also says his office determined the evidence was not sufficient to establish that the president committed obstruction of justice. However, former U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuade says that shouldn't have been his call to make.
The whole purpose for having a special counsel was to have an independent, objective viewpoint insulated from the chain of command so that the public could have confidence in the outcome here.
Presidential Attorney Jay Sekulow pleased with the speed of Attorney General William Barr in releasing a summary of the Mueller report.
I thought that was impressive, and I thought it was well thought out, and obviously we're very, very pleased with the result.
Barr noting that Mueller laid out facts of the obstruction issue without making a legal judgment. The stranded Norwegian cruise ship is finally back in port after losing power in the Norwegian Sea. The Viking Sky was carrying 1,300 passengers and crew when it began having engine trouble Saturday, and a mayday call was issued. Almost 500 were transported off the Viking Sky under difficult conditions that included wind gusts of over 40 miles an hour and waves 26 feet high. Boeing reportedly is testing software changes on the grounded 737 MAX. Pilots for Southwest, American, and United this weekend reportedly tested software changes developed by Boeing. The family of a man who was killed by a Chicago police officer in 2014 is getting a $5 million reward. The lawsuit filed by the family of Gary Smith focused on whether he was armed when he was shot following a police response to a party in the city's Austin neighborhood. A 10-year-old boy was shot while sitting in a vehicle with his father. Ezra Hill was being treated in the intensive care unit last night at an area hospital. The boy shot twice Saturday afternoon in Harvey. And there is not just an NCAA tournament bracket to fill out this month. Managers at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum are asking folks across the state to fill out their bracket of Lincoln's best quotes. Field has started with 32 and allows people to narrow it down to Lincoln's most enduring words. The top-seeded quote is Lincoln's House Divided speech, followed by the Gettysburg Address. Duncan Keith, the game winner. Blackhawks over Colorado 2-1. Cubs rout the Padres 24-6 in spring ball, while the White Sox were winners over Cleveland 7-3. The news service of Staples. Trust the pros at Staples to print whatever your business needs, like color presentations, brochures, and banners. And right now, earn 20% back in rewards on your color printing. N62219. See staples.com/20back for details. Staples. 6:35. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water, like our client from Mount Prospect.
We decided to refinish our basement and wanted to put in new flooring, but we've always had a seepage problem. I heard Chicagoland Waterproofing on the radio and had to call. Gus came to our home and identified the problem immediately, explained a solution which involved 60 feet of interior trenching along the foundation. His guys were on time, professional, and cleaned up when they were done. Our refinished basement is 100% dry. Dry as a bone. Great experience. In Gus, we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:38. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. Inbound Eden taps to brakes from Foster to Montrose right now. Just 20 in from Lake Hook to the Kennedy Junction. No outbound delays. Kennedy in is 28, O'Hare to downtown, 36 back out to the airport. Eisenhower into the circle from 390, a 38-minute trip, 31 back out. Stevenson in 45. Stop-and-go traffic from Harlem to Kedzie, back out, no delays. 55 northbound slows a bit from Route 53 to Joliet Road. And inbound Eden's 28 from 95th to downtown. Inbound, it slows from the Stevenson to the Byrne interchange, and express lanes are backing up at 31st. 57 in from Halstead to the Rhine, delays there. That's traffic. I'm Al Verdi on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny, breezy, cooler, high 41. Currently 34. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design, luxury outdoor living. amwoodland.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good morning. Alan Dershowitz on Fox over the weekend, famed constitutional lawyer from Harvard, had this to say in summary of what we learned from the Barr letter, summarizing the Mueller report.
But I think the reason he said that was to explain why he might not produce everything in the report, because they might be relevant to ongoing investigations. He had to say that, and we all know that there are investigations by the Southern District. But it's important that we did learn there are no sealed indictments, that there's no recommendation in the report for any further indictments. And so this is not what many people feared, just shifting it over to the Southern District and saying, we're not going to indict this guy, but maybe you should. That was done with the Attorney General as far as the obstruction of justice, but he didn't do it with the Southern District.
And Dershowitz went on to explain why he believes Bob Mueller should have to do the Walk of Atonement like Cersei in Game of Thrones.
And if there's an indictment, at least you have a chance to challenge it and fight back in court. But if they say, oh, you were a bad boy, you almost obstructed justice, how do you fight against that? Where do you defend yourself against that kind of charge? That's why traditionally prosecutors are not allowed to say anything about people they decided not to indict. But Mueller just couldn't resist. He's been working all these months, spent all this money, so he has to tell the American public, look, I had some people who wanted to indict, some people who didn't want to indict. Here's this argument, here's that argument. I'm leaving it to the Attorney General. Democrats will take one thing out of it, Republicans will take another thing out of it. That's precisely what prosecutors should not do. Shame on Mueller for not having the guts to come to a decision one way or the other. That's what prosecutors are paid to do.
Shame. Shame. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Jenna Ellis. She is a constitutional lawyer, former prosecutor, contributor to CNN, Washington Examiner, Federalist. Jenna, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
So do you agree with the good Professor Dershowitz that Mueller is to be shamed for not making a definitive statement about the second piece of this puzzle, obstruction?
Oh, absolutely. It was clearly a cheap shot of Mueller to say, to basically punt it and say, you know, this is going to be the Attorney General's call now, to leave open the Democrats to this line of course, you know, rhetoric that now they're pushing to say that somehow Attorney General Barr was biased, and, you know, this leaves open the legal question of whether or not there was obstruction, when, you know, the line that's most important is that from the page is that I have concluded, and this is from Barr's letter, I've concluded that the evidence developed during the special counsel's investigation is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense. And this isn't his opinion. This is a legal conclusion based in fact and objective standards. So this needs to just be closed. But I absolutely agree with Alan Dershowitz.
But it says, you know, report does not conclude the president committed a crime. It also does not exonerate him. So that leaves, you know, Democrats holding on to some hope, don't you think?
Well, not at all, because what he's saying there in legal speak is that he didn't make a decision one way or the other. He didn't reach a legal conclusion. He's simply giving all of the evidence over to the Attorney General and saying, you deal with it. And then the Attorney General Deputy Rod Rosenstein, as well as the Department of Justice, looked then at the evidence and then said, no, we can't make a case for this at all, and they closed it. So this is not an open legal question. And, of course, people who are non-lawyers are going to take it that way to say, oh, it doesn't exonerate him. But that's not what that means in legal speak. It just means he is not reaching a legal conclusion. He's refusing to weigh in on it one way or the other. And then the Attorney General did. And he said, without a doubt, absolutely not. There is not sufficient evidence to move forward with this.
It's rather interesting if you agree with Dershowitz and analogizing this to how Comey handled the Hillary Clinton investigation. And Dershowitz, to his credit, was critical of Comey making public remarks about a case he was not going to prosecute, just as Mueller has done here. That's the comparison he's making. And and we learned after the fact, boy, Loretta Lynch was none too happy with Jim Comey either. And Rod Rosenstein cited that as the reason for Jim Comey's termination. And yet all on the left seem to have no problem with Bob Mueller doing the same to Trump, the same sort of treatment they decried, including among their comrades like Loretta Lynch and to some extent Rod Rosenstein, when Hillary was the target.
The Democrats are outcome driven, and so they can shift their position, 3 times every day and then even more on Sundays. I mean, they just want the outcome that they want, and they're going to be activists. And rather than looking at law enforcement and prosecutors in particular as being completely unbiased, going where the evidence leads, they're now unhappy with Mueller. They're taking this one line out of the report and they're trying to spin it, just like probably Mueller expected them to. And of course they're shifting their position. I mean, but this is the same thing that they're doing with the Electoral College, trying to abolish that. They suddenly don't like a foundational institution of the American system of government just because that allowed Donald Trump to be elected and they didn't get their way. So, I mean, lowering the voting age, all of these different things, Supreme Court packing, this is just consistently what the Democrats do, is that when they don't get the outcome they want to change the rules, they want to manipulate things, and they want to spin it.
Right, like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi released a joint statement saying that America's prosecutor is not a neutral observer and is not in a position to make objective determinations about the report.
And that's just absolutely absurd, because we've had attorney generals in the United States that have been duly, gone through the nomination and the Senate confirmation process. And A.G. Barr, let's remember, is not new to this particular type of rodeo. I mean, he was the attorney general under President Bush 41. He's had a long history of being a fine, upstanding prosecutor. There's absolutely no reason to claim that he is biased, except that the Democrats didn't get the outcome they wanted.
I mean, what is Pelosi's? Hey, let's have another special counsel to investigate the special counsel's investigation. Oh, I mean, it's just the idea that Barr, and by the way, it's not just that he's not an independent observer. That's not the only accusation. You have hosts on MSNBC hyperventilating about seeds of a cover-up that could be present with respect to Bill Barr, who's been in the job for 5 minutes.
Well, and suddenly, they're concerned about that when they haven't been concerned about Strzok and Page and Brennan and McCabe and the
Lynch.
list goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, again, and Loretta Lynch and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. I mean, all of these people, where is equal justice under the law? Where is the investigation and the special counsel for everyone on the Democrat side for the 2016 election? This has been targeted only against President Trump, and in the Democrats' mind, it depends on whether a D or R is after your name solely, and they don't see that law enforcement should be objective, should be unbiased, and the investigation, I mean, they were looking at Mueller as the gold standard, and now suddenly, because they don't get the outcome they want,
now he's a Russian agent.
They're questioning everything.
Now, so let me have you translate some more legal speak here. This is from an independent, objective, neutral attorney, Neil Cattell, who was the acting Solicitor General under President Obama. That's how I know he's neutral. He writes in the New York Times, sometimes momentous government action leaves everyone uncertain about the next move. This is not one of those times. Congress now has a clear path of action. It must demand the release of the Mueller report. Then it must call Mr. Barr and Mr. Mueller to testify. Mr. Barr must explain his rationale for reaching the obstruction judgment he made. And then he goes on with more neutral language. No one wants a president to be guilty of obstruction of justice. The only thing worse than that is a president who goes without punishment. The Barr letter raises the specter that we are living in such times.
This is absurd. I mean, in what world do we ever have a prosecutor who is vested with as much time, resources, energy, everything that Mueller had, reaching this conclusion, and then suddenly Congress is saying, oh, now we're going to question that, and we're going to, bring in, and we're going to second guess. I mean, we have a separation of powers for a reason. And so for the Attorney General, he is the one ultimately that was vested with this decision. Now, special counsel could have, and it should have been Mueller who made this decision, as Alan Dershowitz said. But for Congress to now say, okay, we're going to now question the investigation, that's, again, just them wanting to perpetuate this narrative, perpetuate this myth, and hate on Donald Trump.
Thank you for the translation of lawyerese into people speak. Jenna Ellis, constitutional lawyer, former prosecutor, and a contributor to CNN, Washington Examiner, The Federalist, among others. Jenna, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump wants Europe to build trucks in the United States. Spring home buying season off to a solid start. UPS and Merck exploring a new initiative. Those stories next.
Have you ever seen a pest controller spraying chemicals in your home? It makes you wonder, if their chemicals are safe, then why do they suit up and wear respirators only to leave you to walk back in unprotected? G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and I'm here to tell you there's a better way. In an age where we now have the choice to drive electric cars, you too can electronically rid your home or business of unwanted rodents and pests. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. 100% chemical-free, Plug-in Pest Free is your safest bet for your family and pets. Our bestseller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair income. So order yours today at gopestfree.com. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off plus free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. GoPestFree.com today.
Europe trying to put an end to the 25% U.S. tariffs on imported light trucks. President Trump telling the Fox Business Network if European companies build their plants here, they would have no tariffs. Realtors are starting the week in an upbeat mood. Home sales rising nearly 12% last month. The Fed just announced no interest rate hikes for the rest of this year. UPS is beta testing a healthcare service that will dispatch nurses to vaccinate adults in their homes. UPS exploring a possible partnership with drug maker Merck to provide vaccines, that in an effort to blunt competition from Amazon. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Permis Hill hears story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, would you want your living room or bedroom ever getting wet? Then why do you settle with a wet basement? For over 40 years, the Permis Hill team believes your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. That's right. You can have a permanently dry basement. Just give them a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Roy Spencer started Permis Hill back in 1979, and it's still a local Chicagoland family-run business doing the right thing and standing behind their work. I'll find out for myself. They're coming over today at 11 a.m. Hey, your basement's already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permis Hill, 800-421-SEAL, S-E-A-L. That's 800-421-7325, or simply go to permaseal.net. That's permaseal.net.
The following statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Amberen trials tested mild to moderate symptoms. Testimonial is based on 90 days of use. Results may vary. Nielsen US XAOC 52 weeks dollar sales.
Hot flashes, night sweats, low energy. I had all those menopause symptoms. Hi, I'm Mary Lou Retton. As an athlete and winner of gold back in 1984, I've always cared about what I put in my body. That's why for menopause relief, I choose Amberen.
Amberen safely relieves 12 menopause symptoms by helping to restore your hormonal balance. Amberen is 100% drug-free and estrogen-free. Amberen is America's #1 menopause relief supplement in dollar sales.
I like the fact that Amberen is clinically tested, safe, and effective. Thanks to Amberen, my fear of hot flashes is gone. My sheets aren't soaked every night, and my energy is back. Give Amberen a try and see what it can do for you. It works. It really works.
Hurry to your Walmart, Walgreens, Target, and other fine retailers nationwide and get Amberen today.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America, one life at a time.
I was having a lot of pain in my right hip, and it was causing my leg to be numb below my knee from the hip all the way down. I wasn't getting any sleep. So on top of it, I'm tired, I'm sleep deprived because I'm in pain and I'm not sleeping. So I decided to start taking these things, and the pain is gone virtually. I mean, at 90%, maybe 95%. It was just amazing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a revival.
And you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
What if the kid who cut your grass worked like most financial advisors? Instead of a straight-up $20, you'd get some confusing bill with surcharges and add-ons. What the heck is a blade height adjustment fee? Creative planning is different. Our fiduciary advisors work off one transparent fee structure, and we never receive commissions on your investments. Call 866-CREATIVE or visit creativeplanning.com to learn more. Investment strategies recommended by Creative Planning are not assured of earning a profit or avoiding a loss in declining markets.
My name is David Hochberg at Team Hochberg. If you're purchasing a home, please listen to this important message. Other mortgage brokers advertise about getting pre-approved to purchase a home, even though they know pre-approvals are worthless. They're worthless because you can't purchase a home with a pre-approval letter. But you can purchase a home with a Team Hochberg approval letter. Team Hochberg will underwrite and approve your loan before you meet with a realtor. You'll know exactly what you can afford, and you can close within 14 business days of signing a contract. If you want to secure a pre-approval letter you can't use to purchase a home, call the other guys. If you're interested in securing an approval to purchase a home, call the local mortgage experts on Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com.
Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, breaking down the Mueller report with our brother in sound, Mike Gallagher. Coming up next.
And a little bit later, Bob Kraft's cheesy apology.
I see what you did there.
R. Kelly tries to flee the country. Maybe both should hire Bab Streisand as their PR flack.
I see what you did
She
there.
rallied to the defense of Michael Jackson.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, we heard that one. And I cannot believe that Cook County judge believed R. Kelly and didn't demand proof that there were actual concerts in Dubai. But first, let's go into the newsroom. The one, the only, the guy who's leading our bracket right now.
Haven't
or
even
our
looked.
pool. What? Yeah, you're number one. I'm number two.
Is that right?
You're going down.
Yeah, you guys are lucky Duke
Sweets.
escaped Central Florida.
Okay,
It's
fine.
ridiculous.
And go Hawkeyes. Wasn't that the most amazing comeback you've ever seen in
They
your
lost.
life?
And Wofford, too. You guys are lucky. Wofford should be Kentucky.
Here's Mike.
CPD off-duty officer shot investigation continues this morning. Teacher licensing testing under evaluation by the state. WIND Chicago News Time. It's 7 o'clock.
No collusion, but what about obstruction? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Please, guys, all of you, wake up. The investigation wasn't obstructed.
President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
He didn't do any of this. The man is an innocent man.
This after a 4-page summary of the Mueller report was released that the special counsel's investigation did not find the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia. Attorney General Barr also wrote the special counsel did not conclude that the president committed a crime, nor does he exonerate him. Now the Democrats' reaction. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
They want a full Mueller report released, Dave, as soon as possible. And House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler says he wants Attorney General William Barr to testify.
The American people are entitled to a full accounting of the president's misconduct referenced by the special counsel.
Democrats are particularly concerned about how Barr reached his conclusion to clear President Trump of obstruction of justice. In a joint statement, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer accused Barr of bias, arguing he's not in a position to make objective determinations. Dave?
Rachel, in a few hours, President Trump will host Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House for talks, but then Netanyahu will go back home, ending his U.S. visit early after yet another rocket attack hit Israel.
Suddenly I heard like a loudy boom, and then I ran more downstairs, and it was very scared.
That was right near where the rocket hit outside Tel Aviv, destroying a house, wounding 7 people. In response, Israel is reinforcing troops along the Gaza border, calling up reserves. Norwegian officials are investigating why the Viking Sky cruise ship set sail. Despite storm warnings, it had engine failure then on Saturday and issued a mayday call leading to a rescue operation that airlifted nearly 500 passengers to safety. Hundreds of others were still on board when it finally was able to dock at a port north of Oslo. This is Fox News.
Partly sunny skies for the bulk of this early morning. Clouds are beginning to part, 34 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. Man suspected of killing an off-duty Chicago police officer this weekend reportedly had applied to join the Chicago police force. John Rivera went to the River North nightlife area after finishing his shift on Friday night, and Saturday morning while inside a parked car was shot and later died at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, according to Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Multiple media outlets citing sources say the alleged gunman's bid to be a Chicago cop ended after he was arrested on a home invasion charge. Police in Gary, Indiana are investigating a double homicide after 2 were found fatally shot near East 3rd Avenue and Dunes Highway. Police department has not released any information on how young that boy is who was killed along with a woman. However, police did release photographs of two men that they would like to talk to. In Springfield, Illinois state lawmakers today begin evaluation of a battery of tests that prospective teachers must take to be licensed. Legislators argued the test is deterring many college students from entering the profession. Senate committee advanced a bill late last week to eliminate the basic skills test from state licensing requirements. Blackhawks 2-1 winners over Colorado at the UC. Hawks stay in the playoff chase and take a night off before heading to Arizona on Tuesday in another playoff-critical matchup. Cubs wrap out 27 hits in a win over San Diego in spring baseball. White Sox winners over Cleveland. PGA Valspar Championship warming up for the Masters. Paul Casey wins at 8 under par. The news, a service of Accountemps, payroll, bookkeeping, month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis. Call them today or visit accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Respectfully, if you can pull your head out of your Trump love right now.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The President of the United States should not be attacking a dead man. There's just got to be a certain level of decency that we expect from our president. If you want Trump to win in 2020, this kind of crap is going to kill it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
Some job recruitment sites overload your inbox with resumes. Glassdoor knows not just any will do. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. In fact, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer. And Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Planning out every step of a construction project, whether it's pumping concrete for your new basement or a high-rise on Wacker Drive, can be stressful, and cost is as important as the ability to place the concrete quickly. You need a trusted company like Anderson Concrete Pumping. Using their state-of-the-art pumps and conveyors, Anderson Concrete Pumping can help you with the smallest footprint. They work fast and can pour with a day's notice. Not only will you save time, but also money. Anderson is the woman-owned concrete pumping company in the Midwest and a trusted conforms dealer. You know they do great work because you've seen it at Soldier Field, Wrigley Field, and McCormick Place. Anderson Concrete Pumping is the best choice for a job of any size. That's Anderson with an E. Visit AndersonPump.com to see a variety of working drawings and to schedule an on-site recommendation, or call 708-333-4433 for a free recommendation. That's 708-333-4433. Anderson with an E. Experience excellence.
Staples has the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. This week, buy one HP Office Jet Pro ink cartridge and get a second 30% off, so you can stock up and save. Offer ends 3/30/19. Restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/HP BOGO for details. Staples.
7:07 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. Here is Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. Let's start off with the outbound Bishop Ford, where several cars hit metal debris at Dalton. It was on the road. They're all pulled over to the right, but traffic is backed up from the Steel Bridge. On the Tri-State northbound, things are jammed up from 111th to 87th, where there's a crash on the left shoulder. The Eden's inbound just 20 from Lake Hook to the Kennedy Junction, 20 on the reverse trip. Kennedy inbound 37, O'Hare to downtown, 43 back out to the airport. Eisenhower inbound 42 to the Circle, 34 back out to 390. Stevenson's 49 into Lakeshore Drive and 35 back out. And Dan Ryan in slows from the Stevenson, 25 in from 95th. That's traffic. I'm Al Verdi on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Jillian Ford.
Lakeshore flood advisory in effect until 1 p.m. today. Mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler with the high of 41. Mainly clear and cold tonight with the low of 27. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and chilly with a high of 43. I'm Jillian Ford on AM 560, The Answer.
34, partly cloudy skies right now. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. There's a lot of clips in the vault from which to choose that have become instant classics over the weekend. And also some new instant classics, some fresh material over the weekend, and I certainly appreciate that, most notably from No Justice, No Peace Maxine, but not exclusive to her. Why don't we...
Where do you want to start?
Take a stroll down old memory lane, memories like the corner of my eyes, Democrat socialists for the last 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, this week on Friday, he is going to be delivering what I think are going to be his indictments, the final indictments.
I would not be surprised if there were a number of indictments that still were going to come down the pike.
There are indictments in this president's future.
That's a bombshell.
The bombshell.
This bombshell.
Drop the bombshell.
Bombshell accusation.
Bombshell accusation.
This is evidence of willingness to commit collusion.
If this BuzzFeed News report is true, then we are likely on our way to possible impeachment proceedings.
If this story is true, we must begin impeachment proceedings.
This is suborning perjury. I think there's no question it's an impeachable offense.
And at that point, we are in high crimes and misdemeanor, and we are in impeachment territory.
Right. This president needs to be impeached.
Impeachment is the remedy. I mean, the president can't...
It's the only remedy. The spirit of what Trump did is clearly treasonous.
This is moving into perjury, false statements, and even into potentially treason.
There's outright treason. I mean, there is no question.
I think he's feeling the noose around his neck.
The noose is tightening.
And I think they're shocked that the noose is tightening.
He feels the noose is tightening.
The noose is tightening.
The sound of hoofbeats of all those investigations catching up with Donald Trump must be loud in his ears.
Hoofbeats, a very Native American reference. The noose tightening like it did around Jussie Smollett's neck, apparently. Now, in addition to that, which was a wonderful, wonderful compendium of Democrat socialists, we got Maxine Waters over the weekend saying, look, just as nothing was over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, nothing is over when Mueller bombs what I've been saying for 2 years.
This president has a way of trying to get into people's heads and indoctrinate them. He's been saying no collusion, no collusion, no collusion over and over again for a long time now. And he's going to try and conclude that this report is proving that there's no collusion. And you have a lot of his sycophants who will, take the nod from him and they'll say the same thing. But we cannot allow them to get away with this. He does this all the time. This is not the end of anything. This is it's the end of the report and the investigation by Mueller. But those of us who chair these committees have a responsibility to continue with our oversight. There's so much that needs to be, taken a look at this point. And so it's not the end of everything.
No. Apparently Bob Mueller has now been demoted from paragon of moral virtue, Washington, D.C.'s Dionysus, to now a Trump lackey, a lackey of Trump, whose report is to be dismissed. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend and colleague Mike Gallagher, host of the eponymously named Mike Gallagher Show, 9 a.m., following us every weekday. Mike, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
I don't even want to talk. I just want to listen to the Dan and Amy archives all day long.
I mean,
Can
it's
you just
great.
put all that on a loop?
I tell you,
all day long.
We're taking requests. Yeah.
That's right. The hits just keep on coming. This is really like Election Day all over again in many ways, although, frankly, it's better because this doesn't vindicate Trump uniquely. This vindicates in many ways, and it is a great relief for the country. You know, think about what this country would be like if our president was a Russian agent. If you believed half the crap that was being slung at him for the last 2.5 years, we would have been one of the most, reviled countries on the globe. And yet all of it goes up in smoke with one release, no collusion, no obstruction. And incidentally, the spin that there could be obstruction is such wishful thinking on the part of the Trump haters in their world. The exact words from the Barr letter, I have concluded that the evidence developed during the special counsel's investigation is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense. It's not ambiguous, guys. It's not open-ended. There's no collusion. There's no obstruction. The president was right. And now comes the question of accountability because, listen, you both know his personality. I know his personality. If you think he goes gently into that good night right now and just says, I won, and now let's just move on, there's going to be a reckoning for people who perpetuated this lie. $30 million to the taxpayers of the United States, 500 witnesses, 500 search warrants, lives ruined for crimes that had nothing to do with obstruction and or collusion, frankly, and it's over. I mean, it's a great day for the president, great day for the country.
Well, there's the report recommended no further indictment, so that's good as well. But President Trump, he reserved great judgment over the weekend. He did not tweet at all this weekend, and I know his lawyers were with him at Mar-a-Lago. He played golf with Kid Rock. You really think he's going to, there's going to be political payback for this?
I've got sources in the White House who say that he is beyond enraged at what the country has been put through. And he always, MAGA, he tries to put the country first. He fights for the American people. And we have been through a bloodbath. I mean, you think about this. And all the promises that you just played, the montage, guys, of promises. What accountability will there be for Adam Schiff? What accountability will they be for Eric Swalwell? All of these elected representatives, high levels of position and authority, promising indictments, promising the president. They knew these guys had access to the same evidence that now the country is seeing, and lied on national television and radio and repeatedly said they saw evidence of collusion. It's nonsense, and there's going to be a reckoning. No, the president isn't just going to tuck tail here on this.
Well,
and there's going to be a lot of accountability, I believe. And again, just the political payback is going to be profound enough. He very well just got elected handily over the weekend in 2020. This could have sealed his election. And for the Trump haters, all of a sudden the McCain thing goes away in the blink of an eye. All the people who are hoping that there's something that they can gin up against him to try to get him defeated, because that's all it's about. The Trump haters use the McCain thing, and I wasn't comfortable with the McCain thing either. But you know what? To make that, the be-all, end-all of his entire presidency, this very well could have been the be-all, end-all of his re-election effort, and I think he just got re-elected.
Mike, I don't want you to get out over your skis, so I just want to make sure you're apprised of a couple things, because nothing is over here. You heard Maxine Waters say so, and that's good enough for me. Also, Joy Reid on MSNBC said she feels the seeds of a cover-up here with respect to Bill Barr. So we have to flesh that out now. Jerry Nadler is going to bring Barr before the House Judiciary Committee. And, look, the House Democrats are just getting started. They just took over. And frankly, 2,800 subpoenas, 500 search warrants, 230 orders for communication records, 50 orders authorizing the use of pen registers, 13 requests made to foreign governments for evidence, and the interviewing of 500 witnesses. That's just the prelude to the real investigation that's about to unfurl, and so we should wait for that.
Honestly, and I'm all kidding aside, your well-renowned dry wit puts this in such a perfect perspective because you help illustrate the ridiculousness of the way these guys sound right now. And frankly, how ridiculous they've sounded for 2.5 years. Now we know that, the emperor has been stripped of any clothes here, and they look foolish, Dan. They look so ridiculous, and again, you're summing it up, and you're with your dry wit so perfectly. Look how ridiculous they sound. Maxine Waters, she's actually criticizing Trump for advancing a narrative that he knew was true, that there was no collusion. And listen, nobody messages like he does. He has it in his head. I got to deliver a message to the American people. He repeats it, he repeats it, he repeats it, not unlike my buddy Sean Hannity. You repeat a message enough, and people start to understand it. Well, this is what Trump has been saying all along. No collusion, no collusion. And of course, again, he's been thoroughly vindicated, and that's part of the message. That's part of his whole campaign effort. That's part of the re-election effort, the 2020 effort. No collusion. I was right. They're wrong. They look like clowns, and they do. So thank you, Dan, for putting in that proper – listen, if Joy Reid doesn't agree, then I think we all ought to just fold our tents and go home. Let's just elect Pete Buttigieg now and get it all over with.
And I just learned the pronunciation of his name. But if you saw
how do you say, Amy? How do you say his name?
She's the name assassinator. No, don't.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, Mike. No, don't. Please, Mike. Do not embarrass yourself. Do not listen to Amy when it comes to pronunciations of names. Don't do it.
What is it?
All right. Well, hey, listen. I had a famous story once when I started out in New York radio. I was interviewing Al D'Amato, and I heard his mom made a great Italian dish. And I was trying to ingratiate myself to New Yorkers as a young guy from Ohio, and I said, "Hey, Senator D'Amato, I hear your mom makes great pasta fangool."
Fangool.
And there was this long pause, and and he said, "No, Mike, I don't think she's making any of that in the D'Amato household." It's of course pasta fazool. I kind of got that one wrong, and I don't like the definition of what I got wrong. So what are you going to do?
There you
go. So you're right. I'll just call him Mayor Pete.
There you go. Hey, do you think CNN should apologize? They were brainwashing the American people during this whole alleged collusion. And I don't know if you watched them this morning, but it was just painful because they were in shock, still trying to process.
Well, it's not only painful. It really feels like election morning. They have like these anguished, constipated looks on their faces. MSNBC, CNN, even ABC. They put this Chiron up. There's no exoneration on the obstruction charge. Are you kidding me? There should be, if not an apology, at least an accountability, at least an acknowledgement we got it wrong. They don't have to apologize. They should be able to say, well, looks like the narrative for 2.5 years was dead wrong. Some of them have kind of done that. You've seen some of these legal experts, opine that Trump has been thoroughly vindicated, and it's a huge, huge win, and that's got to be very hard for them. That's got to be very painful. But the real accountability, the real reckoning, Amy, comes from the Adam Schiffs of the world, who again perpetrated this lie upon the American people, dragged us through the mud for 2 years, and I can promise you the president isn't going to let it go. You wait and see.
Speaking of things that are hard, I wanted to turn to porno John Hickenlooper. He had that wonderful anecdote last week about taking his mom to see Deep Throat.
Gross.
And he's following up, providing some leadership with respect to his competitors for the Democrat Socialist nomination. We now know that John Hickenlooper has had 7 sexual partners in his life, including his 2 wives, and I'm looking forward to this primary season presenting itself so that we find out, how many people
slept with other people.
How many people Cory Booker is going to pretend to have slept with? Mike,
the Democrats are all about diversity, Dan.
Yeah, there's no question.
But how it goes from boxers and briefs to now we're finding out how many sexual partners.
Isn't this great? We're really getting to know the candidates, Mike.
Yeah, we're getting to know them all right. We go from the sublime to the ridiculous. But seriously, which Democrat has the best chance of trying to pose a real threat to the reelection of Donald Trump? Who would it be? It's either Biden as a more establishment, 80-something-year-old guy in his first term, or the rest of them. And the rest of them, it looks like a clown show. Beto, let's take down the existing walls. O'Rourke, infanticide, Green New Deal. Are you kidding? Who really is there one single Democrat today, especially after the news we've had this weekend, that poses a real threat to the president's reelection chance? I don't think so, guys.
No.
I really don't.
Yeah, I like it. We had a caller earlier in the show, too, make a European soccer suggestion. This is something Democrats would normally like, which is since they wasted all this time in Trump's first 2 years with the Mueller investigation, he should get 2 years of extra time tacked on to his first term. What do you think about that?
And can I make a serious point in closing in terms of what you said, Dan, a moment ago about Mueller, and all of a sudden he's gone from, like you said, the pillar of moral virtue to now this goat. Before our side, tries to anoint him for sainthood, lives have been destroyed. You think of Roger Stone and his hearing-impaired wife and their dogs being rousted in the middle of the night. The terrible things that have happened. Look at Michael Flynn, guy who served his country with distinction and honor and valor. He was utterly destroyed, guys. This destroyed him. Where does he go to get his reputation back? To quote Westmoreland, huh?
I mean, there's so many. Rick Gates, George Papadopoulos.
Well,
most of them
Rick
just
Gates.
lied, and Paul Manafort, whatever. But most of that, they would have never been investigated had this special counsel and Robert Mueller not been investigating them.
Listen, I saw Alan Dershowitz over the weekend say if the feds came after any of us the way they went after any of these guys, they'd find something. So,
not you.
These aren't
not on you.
Not me, though.
No, not on you.
You're perfect.
Yeah,
No,
us,
you Dan and Amy, but
No,
I'm all right.
fine.
Now, I was talking
I'm
about.
okay.
we'd be doing
I was
hard time.
projecting a little bit.
Yeah, we'd be doing hard time. There's no question.
I'm fine. Dan wouldn't, but I'd be okay.
Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show, starting at 9 a.m. this morning, Chicago time, and every morning, every weekday morning. Mike, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always great to check in with you guys. Happy No Collusion Day.
Yeah, thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, cybercriminals stole the W-2 forms from my friend's company.
Yeah, scammers impersonate CEOs in email and also launch attacks from compromised accounts.
What if they target us?
Don't worry. We have Barracuda Total Email Protection.
So we're secured?
Yes. Barracuda protects businesses of all sizes with artificial intelligence that blocks spear phishing, account takeover attempts, and business email compromise.
That's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, equal housing insurer.
Check out the new 8-part series that's starting on the History Channel tonight. It's called Jesus, His Life. It's an intimate portrait of the Jesus as seen through the eyes of 8 of the people who knew him best: Joseph, John the Baptist, Mary, Peter, Pontius Pilate, and others. This series shows Jesus' journey through a complex world of kings, politicians, reformers, and soldiers amid a turbulent power struggle during a time of revolutionary change. The series features commentary from a wide group of biblical scholars. Each episode focuses on the perspective of different biblical characters and how he saw Jesus. Check it out now on the History Channel tonight, 7 p.m. Again, it's tonight at 7 p.m. on the History Channel.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better you don't get my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a Bible.
And then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
It's March, and for many of us, that means allergy season. And our friends at Balance of Nature have an incredible Madness in March discount that we'll tell you about in just a few seconds. But first, why take Balance of Nature? Well, it's 10 servings of fruits and veggies in a single capsule. And we all know how important getting our daily dose of fruits and vegetables is, especially when it comes to staying healthy this spring. Don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Boost your immune system right now, just like I'm doing. Most of the people in my household are sick right now. Not me, because I've been taking Balance of Nature. And I've spent time with Dr. Douglas Howard and his wife and son. They're the founders of creators of Balance of Nature. And they showed me the emails, played the voicemails from real people who are taking Balance of Nature and are feeling better and living happier and healthier lives, and that can be you too. And today only, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code AmyJ5, AMYJ, the letter 5, all one word, AmyJ5, and you will receive $25 off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, promo code AmyJ5, all one word, when you visit balanceofnature.com or call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business. AM 560, The Answer.
You know, I heard on CNN this morning that Robert Mueller is a registered Republican. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, yeah.
The smear campaign has begun.
It's funny, they were using that for the last 2 years to brandish his credentials of independence. Look, he's a Republican, so he's not one of us. That's why we trust him. He's just an independent guy, a professional, all this integrity. And now it's a Republican, so he's a Republican, so he is in the tank. You love it how my interest shifts, so my positions would steal Groucho Marx. These are my principles. If you don't like these, I have others.
Well, I wonder
That's
how
what the Democrats do.
Yeah, and I wonder how the Democrats, that are non-politicians feel, because he's become quite a folk hero among Democrats. NBC did a story. They interviewed this woman, Alicia Barnett. She named her chocolate lab after Mueller. His new name is Mueller because he's strong, silent type. They started this whole line of Mueller-inspired little gadgets, earrings, prayer candles.
Everything's merchandising.
Ornaments, a necklace, keychain, a stuffed toy of Mueller, and a Superman outfit.
And everything, all of that merchandise, and it's all about merchandising. Learned that from Mel Brooks.
Baby onesies.
All of that is going to be on clearance today, I have a feeling. Although, if you do get the Mueller earrings as a gift, let me tell you the key here. All right, just a little bit of a fashion tip from somebody who is very up on haute couture. You want to accessorize. The key is accessorizing with the Mueller earrings. So I suggest a nice Adam Schiff tinfoil hat, or maybe some stylish Maxine Waters Ruski-colored glasses.
Well, because remember that time you wore your Pittsburgh Steelers onesie to work? I do believe that photo is out there. Remember? Yeah. Well, I ordered you a Robert Mueller onesie with this, hairline and the. I hope large is large enough.
I hope it comes with an Andrew Weissman sleeping cap.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
Bob Kraft's cheesy apology at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Partly cloudy skies, 33 degrees at 7:30. President Trump's legal team taking a bit of a victory lap after release of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia report. Rudy Giuliani saying the summary was a complete exoneration.
It's quite clear that this group was hardly a group of Trump fans. It's made up of almost all Democrats, some of them very, very rabid partisans, including one who was a lawyer for the Clinton Foundation.
Giuliani and Jay Sekulow have both reiterated comments from White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, who said the report into Russian interference in the 2016 election and collusion with the Trump campaign fully exonerates the president. However, this morning, Mimi Rocha, former assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, says that doesn't mean, at least in her mind, that there isn't anything more to look into.
Mueller found it did not establish a criminal conspiracy. That's very different from saying that there was no conduct here that Congress should consider.
And New York Congressman Jerry Nadler says he wants to have Attorney General William Barr testify. 7 are wounded following a rocket attack on a community north of Tel Aviv. That attack prompting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to announce he would cut short his Washington visit. Chicago-based Boeing reportedly is testing software changes on the grounded 737 MAX. Pilots for Southwest, American, and United this weekend reportedly tested that software change. 2 men are charged with first-degree murder in the weekend slaying of an off-duty Chicago police officer, reportedly shot sitting in a parked car. Chicago police announcing this morning 24-year-old Menelik Jackson of South Holland and 32-year-old Jovan Battle of Chicago were arrested for allegedly firing at the car in the River North neighborhood, killing John Rivera. He was one of 4 in that car Saturday after the group had left a nightclub. Jackson and Battle also face attempted murder charges, and they have a court date later this morning. Blackhawks over Colorado at the UC 2-1. Hawks have the night off. They head to Arizona next. White Sox 7-3 winners over Cleveland in spring baseball, and the Cubs rout the Padres. The news is a service of Staples. Staples has the supplies you need to run your business like a boss. This week, buy one HP OfficeJet Pro ink cartridge and get a second 30% off. So you can stock up and save. Offer ends 3/30/19. For details, Staples. 7:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:36, and a check on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. In for Jim, here's Al.
Here's a look at traffic. Outbound Bishop Ford jams up from the Steel Bridge to Dalton, where an accident has the left lane and right shoulder blocked. Then on the eastbound Reagan, traffic is heavy from Myers to the Tri-State. An accident there's got two right lanes blocked. Eden's inbound now, no delays. Back out to Lake Cook, just a 20-minute ride. The Kennedy inbound is 42 to downtown, 37 on the outbound side. Then Eisenhower in is 46 to the Circle, 33 back out to 390. Stevenson 54 into Lakeshore Drive, and 36 back out to 355. Dan Ryan in slows from the Stevenson, half hour in from 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Al Verdi on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sunny, breezy, but much cooler today, a high of 41. Currently 34 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Jennifer, an account manager, 29. I hate when men in my office say you wouldn't understand just because I'm a woman.
On AM 560.
We can actually help you with your problems.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Bob Kraft has offered an apology of sorts for the arrest for solicitation and prostitution.
Yeah, he said, in defense of the judicial process, I've remained silent.
In deference to
these,
the judicial
I'm
process.
sorry, in deference to the judicial process. I'm sure these words came out of his mouth, too. I've remained silent these past several weeks to correct some of the misinformation surrounding this matter. My attorney made his first public comments on Friday night. I would like to use this opportunity to say something that I have wanted to say for weeks. I am truly sorry. I know I have hurt and disappointed my family, my close friends, my coworkers, our fans, and many others who rightfully hold me to a higher standard. Throughout my life, here we go, I've always tried to do the right thing. The last thing I would ever want to do is disrespect another human being. I have extraordinary respect for women. Yeah. My morals and my soul were shaped by the most wonderful woman, the love of my life, who I was blessed to have as my partner for 50 years.
And then he added,
Me so horny. Me love you long time.
yeah, which sort of undermined the rest of the apology, I thought, a bit. But no, it's worth pointing out his extraordinary respect for women, and that's how you know somebody has extraordinary respect for women. They tell you.
Exactly. And he pointed out his wife, who died a few years ago from cancer, and he was all distraught over that. But let's not forget that this is not a victimless crime. Here's the state's attorney from Florida.
This is not about lonely old men or victimless crimes. This is about enabling a network of criminals to traffic women into our country for forced labor and sex.
And Kraft and others also filed a protective order that would prevent the video from going public because
Look,
they think it was illegally obtained.
I, like Jerry Nadler, I want the full Mueller report released and the full Kraft video.
Oh, and don't think that he's not on the tape. Here's the sergeant.
Does the video contain Mr. Kraft inside receiving the alleged acts? The answer to that is yes.
The
not one, but two. Sorry.
The question, though, is the apology. Are you persuaded by that? I mean, he doesn't say he's going to, like, donate $500,000 to the National Organization of Women or something so obvious, but invoking his wife, extraordinary respect for women, and
I mean, come on. I'm a woman. I know you are too sometimes.
Yeah.
But this is just, come on, don't patronize me. Seriously.
Oh,
My
boy.
love for women, because I was married for 50
Look.
years. Okay, well, if your wife was still alive, she'd be kind of embarrassed at what you're doing right now.
Don't you think he's gone through enough? He's got this. Now he's got Gronkowski's retirement. He is going through a lot right now. The Gronkowski retirement has to be a mitigating circumstance for any sentence he might receive, I
it's
presume.
Very strange because they have NFL owner meetings in Arizona this week, and he's going to be there starting today. And then on Thursday, he has to leave. Guys, I'll be right back. I have this little court hearing I got to take care of, but I'll come back.
And he's going to go to court, then Orchids of Asia, then back to the NFL owners meeting.
It's just a cop-out. I mean, he's deflecting but not denying that he did it.
The interesting thing about the apology is now you know what the defense is going to be, which is what it had to be because they've got him on video. The defense is going to be
What?
not that he didn't do it, it's that the evidence was illegally obtained.
Right, because the Patriot Act, he said that the cameras were set up illegally. But I don't know. I'm not.
He's saying the video and the traffic stop were illegal. That's going to be the defense. So if he gets off,
Excuse me.
it will be on a technicality, not because he didn't do the deed. It will be because the police will have been found to have conducted an illegal videotaping and traffic stop, if that's how the court proceeds. But at least you know what the legal strategy is now.
Well, and then the last few lines of his statement, I expect to be judged not by my words, but by my actions. And through those actions, I hope to regain your confidence and respect. Please. Out of respect. Just say, you know what? I'd respect him if he came forward and said, you know what, I was lonely. I'm sad. It felt good, and I did it, and then I went back 19 hours later and had 2 women instead of 1. Okay? You don't have to be, it's not an addiction or anything. He just did
Lean into it.
Right.
Suggesting.
Exactly. Own it.
Right.
You don't go messed up,
I am the
man.
beneficiary of human trafficking, and I own it.
Or he could say, again, which the women I were with were not there being held there against their will.
Right.
And it's just a simple misdemeanor. If I was a full-time resident of Florida, that's what it would be. But I live out of state, and there's all this other technical stuff. Just own it. Just say you did it.
Yeah, and the problem
And I'm
with that,
sad the spa's closed.
The problem with that, of course, is that he has to figure out what he could be facing with the NFL and his rival there, Roger Goodell, and will there be an effort to institute something more than a temporary suspension if he's convicted of this crime? I mean, again, the letter we read last week from dozens of social service providers, members of the clergy, calling on Goodell to force Kraft to sell the team if he's convicted of these crimes. So he has that other consideration that has to be factored in.
And then do you think at the NFL owners meeting this week in Scottsdale that anybody's going to be sitting near him at the table? Do you think people are going to distance themselves from him? Like guilt by association. I don't
What?
know. That no one wants to hang out with him because this is,
Yes.
hanging over his
right.
head.
It's a 5th grade lunchroom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the point about the respect piece of this.
Yes.
That he hopes to regain my confidence and respect. Let me tell you something, Bob. My respect for you has not changed. And you can interpret that how you see fit.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
Now, these are probably the best supplements I've ever had. I've cut out all the other stuff I'm taking and stuff like that. I went completely off the blood pressure meds almost immediately. So it's definitely, you can see a huge difference.
I fell from my chair and I crushed my heel. I feel that has gotten better since I've been taking Balance of Nature.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
You've heard me talk about Northridge Prep for a year. I have friends with children at the school, and they rave about it. Let me tell you a few things they don't do at Northridge. They don't put an iPad in every boy's hands and somehow expect the boys to focus. The Northridge boys turn off their phones and learn with paper and pen. They don't expect boys to sit still all day in the classroom. They have gym every day and allow the boys to play tag, throw snowballs, and the like. They don't tell their boys that being masculine is bad. Instead, they teach what it means to be a gentleman and expect their students to act like gentlemen. The teachers expect a lot from the young men. The coaches push them, and the boys love Northridge. If you have a son entering middle or high school, you should learn more about Northridge. Their next open house is coming up Sunday, April 7th. I encourage you to register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute?
That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-813-1105. 800-813-1105. That's 800-813-1105.
My name is Stefan Saporta, and I am a proud sponsor of AM 560's Food for the Poor campaign. I am also the principal attorney of one of the premier mortgage foreclosure defense firms in the state of Illinois. Since 2009, colleagues have turned to us for both instruction and guidance, and many have referred their clients to us. By zealously defending their cases in court, we have enabled many homeowners to qualify for loan modifications and other alternatives to foreclosure. We have even defeated the banks outright in a handful of cases, saving our clients hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. Give our offices a call to learn more about your rights and how we can help you protect and preserve your home. 815-741-9400. Support a law offices. Quality legal representation at reasonable rates. Our number again is 815-741-9400. Thank you.
Mary, the child you bear will become the greatest of men.
From the network that brought you the Bible.
There has been talk about Jesus. They say he's healing the sick.
Comes the life of Jesus Christ.
His preaching is what concerns me. He's helping people.
From those who knew him best.
We are his followers. We've seen him do wondrous things.
I am the resurrection and the life.
Jesus, his life. Tonight at 8 on History.
On Target, radio is back on AM 560. Every Sunday night at 9, Dave Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz discuss the red meat issues that affect your life. The Second Amendment, personal liberty, government intrusion. They'll also bring you the latest from the Washington and Springfield swamps. On Target Radio, Sunday nights at 9. Sponsored in part by Safer USA, a leader in firearms education and training. Hackett Equipment, makers of the finest gun range carrying bags. And Geekometrics, experts in data security. AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot, it's just 8 days away, her victory. Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot has a new ad up this weekend. Take a listen.
At the age of 19, I was charged with first-degree murder, and I was given 45 years. I was devastated because I knew the truth. I was no angel, but I was no murderer. When Miss Lightfoot came involved, it was a ray of hope. Lori assured me, you're going home, and I'm here today. Not many people will step up in these situations, but Lori Lightfoot is that person. Lori Lightfoot is a leader, and that's what Chicagoans need at this moment.
Okay. All right. Albert Cleveland, apparently wrongly convicted of murder. He was convicted of murder in 96. Lightfoot and her team at Mayor Brown law firm took on his appeal, argued that Cleveland's former attorney had a conflict of interest, mishandled the case. In February of 17, Cook County prosecutors dropped the murder charges against Mr. Cleveland. He pled guilty to a drug charge. So Lightfoot was instrumental in getting him out after he had served 21 years in prison, apparently wrongly, and that's great.
Good. And there's another debate tonight that no one's going to watch.
Nor should you, because it's without point. Here's the thing. That's one side of it, and that's an important side, right? I believe in one of the foundational notions of our justice system, better 1,000 guilty men go free than one man wrongly imprisoned. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the other piece of this that's going to confront Mayor-elect Lightfoot. Mike Scott's been reporting it all morning, the murder of John Rivera, Chicago police officer.
Yeah, he was killed outside of a bar in your neighborhood, River North, at about 3 in the morning. He was sitting in a car with a few of his friends, and they still we were hearing reports during the day that he had made a drug arrest earlier, and that it was retaliation, but it looks like that is not the case at all.
Other story out over the weekend, which should be noted. 6 Chicago police officers have committed suicide in the last 8 months. This is about trauma, and that's what a former Chicago cop turned therapist who runs a counseling center told the Tribune. This is what trauma looks like. This is what PTSD looks like. And so, reading John Cass over the weekend, our friend over at the Tribune, listen to these stories. On the west of John Cass's piece, on the west side, the street shows no fear of Chicago police. Going to be a bad summer, said one Chicago police sergeant to Cass. Here's what he means. Something happened the other day on the west side that makes me think the old archetype of a sergeant may be right this time. Authorities confirmed 2 police officers, TAC cops, not rookies, making a drug arrest shortly after 2 p.m. on Sunday. Mob appeared, threatening officers, surrounding them, threatening to reach out for their own weapons to shoot them dead, and the cops let the suspect go.
Oh, my God. And what, fear their lives?
Yes. What is learned there, writes Cass. The street is officially no longer afraid of the Chicago police. If the cops had fired their weapons, news media would have been all over them, metaphorically skinning them alive. Politicians would have demanded their heads. Democrat presidential candidates and the 2 campaigning for mayor would have held repeated news conferences. But this, what actually happened? Nothing. The cops
should give you great pause.
The cops know they're alone, writes Cass. That's not a good prescription for what may come. I've never heard of that. John Cass writing about this. John Cass is not some Johnny-come-lately or some shrieking violet. He knows Chicago.
Right.
60 years worth of knowing Chicago. I've never heard of that before, writes Cass. Of cops so intimidated during an arrest that they'd back off. And I wonder what message that sends to cops, to the street, and what will come of it. Another incident. 2 tactical officers making the drug arrest on the west side, or another aspect of the incident. Police viewed the body camera footage, told me one officer dealt with a suspect and another stood a few feet away watching a bystander making threats. Then someone reached into the squad car and took the seized drugs. The officer standing a few feet away ran to chase the drug thief, and the mob began pressing and threatening the officer with the suspect. A shot was fired a block away. Police recording of the incident that was shared with Cass lays it out. 10 people surrounded me. This is the police officer telling dispatch. 10 people surrounded me, indicating they had firearms. Then one person away from me holding his waist indicated he used the firearm against me. That was this West Side incident he was talking about. There's some of the color. It's difficult to put your mind around that people on the street have lost their fear of the cops. And what comes next, who can say? But others will push the envelope, and others will push back, and it ends badly. That's what you have to look forward to this summer in Chicago. And it won't be limited to the west side or the south side either, as we've said over and over and over again, and the John Rivera murder is an example of that in River North.
And just so you know, Rivera, he's 23 years old. He was shot in the chest, arm, and mouth. And police say it was an unprovoked attack against a group of individuals that were all at the same nightclub. And he's being remembered by his friends.
He always wanted to be a police officer. That's one thing we always knew. He definitely wanted to be a police officer. He always wanted to serve our community and serve Chicago. It's something that just he was always set on. It was something that he always understood, something that he knew he had to do, something he felt like he had to fulfill.
John and Wheeling, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
So a good morning, by the way, juxtapose all of that with the comment that POS, Bobby Rush said, panning or talking against Lightfoot because what did he say? She's going to be too pro-cop.
Bobby Rush
how
said,
disgraceful was that?
Bobby Rush said, this election is really about what type of police force we're going to have in the city of Chicago, and everyone who votes for Lori, the blood of the next young black man or black woman who was killed by the police is on your hands. Oh. If you're against police brutality and murder, you ought to be for Toni Preckwinkle. She's the only one who's going to have the police under her control.
Oh. And what's more insidious is that she did not, talk against it. I mean, she basically doubled down on that.
Oh,
if you see her follow-up comment.
Oh, yeah. I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Thanks for the call, John.
Right now.
The Albert Cleveland story, that's a great feather in Lori Lightfoot's cap. Good for you. What about policing? What's it going to be? That's the question that people should be asking Lori Lightfoot. Mike in Lake Forest.
We were down in Nashville visiting some friends over the weekend, and I had to give you a call because what you're saying, here's what's happening. We're going to a very nice subdivision. I'm not going to give you the name because we might close in another couple of weeks. Oh. And we asked the broker, any people from Chicago moving down here? Because it's like La-La Land. People work. There's the real estate taxes.
Sure. Johnny Cash
low.
used to live there, right?
Yeah. 30, Dan, 30 out of the last 100 closings were to people from Illinois.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate it. I mean, you look at the certain Florida zip codes, like Naples, and where people it's a mass exodus from New Jersey and Illinois.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're gonna return to the Barr letter and the Mueller report at 8:08 with former FBI Special Agent Kathleen Puckett.
And later, former bear afraid of water rowing across Lake Michigan. We'll tell you why. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Teacher licensing testing under evaluation by the state. Local congressional Democrats say a full Mueller report should come out. WINT Chicago News Time. It's 8 o'clock.
Democrats want a lot more information. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We will ask the Attorney General to testify before the House Judiciary Committee.
As Chairman Jerry Nadler and many others like Senator Bernie Sanders not happy there's only a 4-page summary of the Mueller reports.
I want the whole damn report.
The special counsel did conclude there was no Trump campaign conspiracy or coordination with Russia. The summary also says the special counsel did not exonerate the president on obstruction of justice but didn't find a crime. Attorney General Barr determined the evidence is insufficient. They're happy at the White House. Fox's John Decker's there live.
Rudy Giuliani, the personal lawyer for President Trump, telling Fox and Friends the president feels fully vindicated by the findings of the Mueller report. And now Giuliani wants to know who started the false collusion narrative.
I want to know who did it, who paid for it, who fueled it, because the person who did it and the group that did it knows it's untrue because they invented it.
Senior counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, calling on House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff to resign for prejudging the president and claiming that he colluded with Russian officials. Dave?
John, there's an I told you so reaction from Russian state media to the Mueller report of no collusion. Later this morning, President Trump will meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who will then go home, cutting his U.S. trip short. Why? Another Palestinian rocket attack. Sirens warned people about in the Tel Aviv area, waking them up around 5 a.m. The rocket hit and destroyed a house, injuring 7 people. Israel, in response, is sending more troops to the Gaza border. The search is continuing in South Dakota for 2 men who were in a garbage truck swept away in a flooded river. 2 more still missing in Nebraska. 3 others have died in the widespread Midwest floods.
Thousands of people in areas of Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri are still out of their homes, and it's not clear when they'll be allowed back in. There's also a concern that contaminants that escaped from fields, industrial operations, and sewage plants are part of the water that's flooded those homes.
That's Tanya J. Powers. This is Fox News.
Partly sunny skies, 33 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 men are now charged this morning with first-degree murder in the weekend slaying of an off-duty Chicago police officer reportedly shot sitting in a parked car. Chicago police announcing this morning that 24-year-old Manelik Jackson of South Howland and 32-year-old Jovan Battle of Chicago were arrested for allegedly firing into the car in the River North neighborhood that killed John Rivera. The two are expected in court later today. It's not known if they have lawyers. All members of the Chicago area's Democrat congressional delegation have gone on the record reacting to the release of the summary of the Mueller Russia probe. They all say the full report needs to be made available to Congress. Police in Gary, Indiana, investigating a double homicide as two people were found fatally shot late Saturday night near East 3rd and Dunes Highway. Officers found a woman and a young boy dead. Police did release photographs of two men that they want to talk to. The 5-year-old girl who was killed in a house fire in Inglewood last week identified as Caitlin Jeffries. Cause of that fire is being investigated. Chicago sports, Blackhawks, 2-1 winners over Colorado at the UC. Cubs winners over San Diego in spring baseball, while the White Sox were 7-3 winners over Cleveland. 8:03, time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL, and time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here is Lillian Wu.
From the Fox Business Network, stock futures in the red on Wall Street after stocks in Asia and Europe sink on worries about slowing growth. This morning, we're hearing from Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia President Patrick Harker, who says strong economic growth and a positive outlook could keep a rate hike on the table this year and another in 2020. Apple says it's showtime. The iPhone maker today expected to unveil its streaming service, which will reportedly offer channels such as HBO and Showtime for $9.99 each a month. According to the Wall Street Journal, which also says Apple will break with its standard practice and offer its streaming service through third-party devices. And Comedy Central fans can breathe easy now that Viacom and AT&T have reached a deal to keep Viacom channels like MTV and Nickelodeon on AT&T's DirecTV, WatchTV, and Uverse services. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lillian Wu.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity always gives you the truth.
The witch hunt we've been through now for almost 3 years that began in July of 2016. That's when it started. And remember, we learned through Page and Strzok's testimony last week that after 9 months investigating this, before the appointment of Mueller, they found no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, not even a single bit of it.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5, on AM 560. The Answer.
We've all been there, looking for a parking spot when it's freezing and icy outside. The icy pavement of this pothole-filled parking lot is a nightmare. Oh, there's a spot. Wait, oh no, you're sliding. Watch out for that pothole. Your tire just blew out. The kids are crying and you're never coming back here again. Business owners and property managers, avoid frustrating your customers with a less than perfect parking lot. Pavement Solutions can offer you a safer and longer lasting pothole repair with permanent cold mix asphalt. It's an immediate solution and 90% of potholes patched will never need to be repaired again. Call Pavement Solutions today and learn how they can fix your lot in a day without closing it. In fact, as customers drive over the patch, it gets stronger. Don't put your customers or your business at risk with annoying potholes. Give your customers the experience they deserve. Call Pavement Solutions for a free quote. 815-675-0696. 815-675-0696.
Guardians of the Grass, run with us on a John Deere X300 Select Series lawn tractor built for versatility. Because when you take pride in your lawn, you do it all. You mulch, bag, haul, grow, mow, and a whole lot more. And that's why the X300 Series takes care of everything with attachments for all your spring and summer projects. Because you're not just doing yard work, you're creating common ground for the whole neighborhood to enjoy. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere X300 for more.
36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their next hire. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor hires are committed. They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
8:07. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 traffic center with Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. On the eastbound Reagan, things are jammed up between Highland and the Tri-State, but an earlier accident's been moved off to the right shoulder. The Edens inbound, no delays. Back out, slows a bit between Toohey and Niles Center Road, just 20 up to Lake Cook. Kennedy in is 43, O'Hare to downtown, 39 back out to O'Hare. Eisenhower 54 in from 390 to the Circle and 36 on the outbound side. Stevenson in hour 1 to Lakeshore Drive, 37 back out to 355. And Dan Ryan inbound 41 minutes from 95th to downtown at Roosevelt, a report of an accident. Outbound, no delays to report. That's traffic. I'm Al Verdi on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Jillian Ford.
Lakeshore flood advisory in effect until 1 p.m. today. Mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler with a high of 41. Mainly clear and cold tonight with a low of 27. Mostly sunny and chilly tomorrow with a high of 43. I'm Jillian Ford on AM 560, The Answer.
Partly sunny and 34. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We've talked quite a bit about Barr's letter and the Mueller report filed over the weekend. Talked about some of the obvious losers in this saga to this date. The D.C. press corps, John Brennan, Jim Comey, so many of the unhinged Democrat socialist members of Congress. One of the winners is a guy who is ridiculed routinely and relentlessly over the last 2 years by all of the aforesaid individuals and institutions. Devin Nunes, the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Back in November, shortly after the House Democrats' victory, take over the House by Democrats, Devin Nunes sat down with Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business and said this.
The Democrats on the committee and all through Congress have been saying that they have more than circumstantial evidence that the Trump campaign colluded with Russians. More than. So at the first open hearing that we're going to have, I'm looking forward to them finally releasing this information because we know that the only thing that hasn't leaked is this information about the Trump campaign colluding with Russians. So they've promised it. They now have the majority. So finally, maybe now they'll present their evidence.
And apparently they never did because there never was any.
They were so, defiant, and so confident based on their information that there was evidence of Russian collusion.
Based on, that's
Nadler
what they
was
said.
on CNN, right? But Nadler was on CNN saying it's because of the Trump Tower meeting, and Don Jr. got dirt on Hillary Clinton.
Adam Schiff has said they have collusion evidence. Jerry Nadler has said definitely President Trump obstructed justice. It's not even a topic for discussion. And Devin Nunes, again, back in November. Remember, the House Republicans on the Intel Committee, the House Intel Committee, the Republicans, issued a report on the topic that was ridiculed, laughed off by the D.C. press corps.
The American people now know that the Trump campaign was unmasking American citizens. They know that many of the Trump campaign people were targeted. They know that they used a dossier that was paid for by the Clinton campaign to go after and use it in a FISA warrant against the campaign. So we're really proud of what we've done. We want the American people to see these 4 buckets of information that need to be declassified. And if the president would do that, it would, I think, give some finality to our investigation.
So Nunes misspoke at the outset when he said the Trump campaign unmasked individuals. He was clearly talking about the Clinton campaign and the Obama administration, and there still hasn't been any reckoning or really accounting for what Samantha Power and Susan Rice may or may not have done on that score. We know that General Flynn was illegally unmasked, and we know that there's never been any particular resolution of that act that was known. And that last piece of what Nunes said back in November prompted Kim Strassel to expound on that in her op-ed in the Journal over the weekend. Americans now deserve a full accounting of the missteps of former FBI Director Jim Comey and his team, in part so this never happens again. And she has specific questions about what the FBI did or didn't do, disclosed or didn't disclose when it as it pertains to presenting evidence to the FISA court for warrants and the like. And we know from testimony that Deb Nunes wanted declassified back in November that has now been sort of put into the public space by Republican members of Congress over the last couple of weeks, Bruce Orr's testimony and the like, that there are real questions, I would say, not really questions, but at minimum, real questions about the truthfulness of the FBI as it presented its evidence to the FISA court for the warrants.
And James Comey tweeted out once the Mueller report was released, a picture of himself in the woods looking up with the caption, "So many questions."
And Lindsey Graham tweeted right back at him, "Could not agree more. See you soon." So maybe we'll see Jim Comey before Senate committee in much the way that Jared Nadler wants to pull William Barr in before his House Judiciary Committee to discuss this in greater detail. Well, to discuss this in greater detail now, we're pleased to be joined by Kathleen Puckett. She is someone who spent 23 years as an FBI special agent. She's a founding member of the FBI's National Security Division Behavioral Analysis Program, the author of Homeland Insecurity, How Washington Politicians Have Made America Less Safe, and now a law enforcement consultant to the program of psychiatry and the law at the University of California at San Francisco Dons. Yes. Kathleen Puckett, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Morning. So what about the performance? We're not talking so much about it in the wake of the Barr letter over the weekend, but what about the performance of the FBI and the indictment of its performance by Inspector General Horowitz, the criminal referral on McCabe, which is still pending? How do you assess how your former agency handled itself over the last 2 years?
Well, I'm glad you're asking this question because I think this is really critical to the public's understanding of how these things work. I don't think that there's an appreciation in this highly politicized environment of exactly how non-political the FBI deliberately is. It's set up to be non-political. I worked for 23 years. I was in San Francisco twice for when Director Mueller, who was a United States attorney in the United States Attorney's Office, just 3 floors up from us in the federal building in San Francisco, worked first in the office of the U.S. Attorney and then came back and he moved up to be the chief of the criminal division, and then he was back for the United States Attorney, which is the highest position, from 98 when we were finishing the Unabomb case and until 2001 when he became director, when President Bush, George W., nominated him. When I went into the academy, every single special agent is told this. I did not know this particular thing before I went in, even though I'd been an Air Force investigator for 4 years before that and recruited into the FBI. When you get to Quantico, there's a real leveling period, and one of the first things that we were told by the legal instruction curriculum there was, do you know what special agent means? And of course we all thought, well, yeah, we're very special. He said, it's not because you're special. He said, special means in this legal sense, limited. It means that you are limited to investigations of certain federal statutes, of violations of certain federal statutes, mostly under Title 18 U.S. Code. You go through law classes at the academy, and there is never a taint of any kind of contamination of the oath you take, and the oath that Bob Mueller took multiple times during his career to follow the law, follow the Constitution. He's constitutionally an investigator who I think you have to remember. When he left and became a partner at a law firm in 1993, he returned in 1995 as a senior litigator in the homicide section of the District of Columbia, United States Attorney's Office. He took, I don't know if I can express to you how much less money that would be for him. He was at the pinnacle of his career and he could have gone anywhere. He wanted to work cases.
Okay.
He wanted to work cases.
But
and that's what we do. We don't work anybody's political agenda. I never made a decision, and I didn't know anybody else in the FBI who made a decision about what work they did based on politics.
Right, well, what about
one more thing I want to
Comey?
tell you about Mr. Mueller is that you mentioned Jim Comey staring up at the sky. That's classic Jim Comey. I did not work for Director Comey, but he was appointed when I left the Bureau. But he's an intellectual. He comes from the intellectual tradition of one of his heroes is one of the famous philosophers. He is not a sworn law enforcement officer. He was an officer of the court, but not the kind of oath that is taken by FBI agents to fairly and impartially deal with anything. So we investigate everybody, from the presidents of corporations, from the presidents of banks, into individuals committing all kinds of different frauds. So,
well, I understand how it's supposed to work. The question is, how did it work in this case under this leadership, specifically Comey, and the senior leadership of the FBI, which has all been cleaned out, and many of those cleaned out under a cloud, and as I said, acting director
You're making
McCabe.
An assumption.
No, I'm not making an
assumption.
No, I'm not making an assumption. Excuse me. Acting Director McCabe was referred by the Inspector General for criminal prosecution for perjury. That's
exactly.
not making an assumption.
Exactly. Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. However, you don't really understand what agents do and how they do it.
Okay.
You don't really believe it because the atmosphere is so highly charged that agents do their work.
Well, I know,
Bob
but Peter
Mueller
Strzok and
does his
Page,
work.
they were texting back and forth. Clearly, they were biased and had a political position against President Trump.
Among other positions.
It doesn't. Okay, let me just say one thing about that, and I totally understand what you're saying and how that looks. What we do is we watch what people do, not what they say.
Okay.
And so basically, there has never been any, and I'm not defending those people for what they said using, I don't know them.
The rhetoric that was used.
The rhetoric that was used was disgusting, and I think it was, there's all kinds of things you could say about that. But what they did in their jobs, I've never seen anything to indicate that it influenced what they did. In fact, it would probably go to the other side of that. Basically, what I think you really have to keep in mind is what Mueller said, and as far as we know from what Attorney General Barr said, was that he declined to give a prosecutorial opinion.
Right, and Alan.
And why did he do that?
Why
would you think he would do that?
Because he wants to turn it over to the political process effectively, rather than do what a prosecutor should do, which is make a decision based on the evidence that he's called together one way or the other.
No.
And also,
he does want to turn it over to the political process, but the point is that it is not a political decision. He's not going to make the mistake that Jim Comey did out of hubris to assume that he should interfere in the political process, well-meaning though it may have been in his own mind. That's not something Mueller would ever do.
Well, I'm confused then. He is willing to say definitively that there was no Russian collusion with Trump or any of his associates.
He says the evidence did not support that.
Right. So that's a definitive statement, and he's unwilling to make a definitive statement about what the evidence does or doesn't support with respect to obstruction. So I distinguish the two.
Which means that, in my mind, knowing Bob Mueller, that means that he still has questions, but he's not going to make it political. If he came out and said what Jim Comey said, which was, I have we have a concern about this. We have to bring it forward, but Secretary Clinton made some serious errors and showed extremely bad judgment. And I think he said something even stronger than that. He was interfering unknowingly, really, but he's part of that network. He's the United States attorneys.
His job is supposed to present the evidence to the AG, not to make a decision. And with Hillary Clinton, he came out and made a decision, and I think that was wrong.
And he wasn't he like number 3 at Justice beforehand, so he didn't know what he was doing?
No, it isn't that he didn't know what he was doing. He's a brilliant guy, but he's not from law enforcement. He's from the legal system and from the look. There's a reason that the United States attorneys and are under justice, and that the FBI director is appointed for 10-year terms by a president. It doesn't mean that the FBI director works for the president. The FBI director works for the Constitution. That's what the oath is. He's following the law. He's not following any political process in making his judgments. I have never seen, and I think you have to admit that there has been the lack of leakage from that team working that case. One of the big topics of conversation among all his ex-agents is, have we ever seen anybody as tight an organization as that? Yeah, under Bob Mueller, you're going to be tight because you're going to absolutely hew to the rules. You're not compromised by being a political appointee for a president based on politics rather than service.
Going back to Mueller's decision on the matter of obstruction, then if he's uncertain, why not continue the investigation until he gets to some certainty?
I think he wouldn't have. Sometimes in investigations, you don't have uncertainty. There are all kinds of vagaries. This is a very complicated situation, and as far as collusion, it's been pointed out many times that it's not technically a crime. It's not a conspiracy, but it's not something that he would make a comment on unless he had conclusive information. He still has concerns. He would not have said that he's not going to give a prosecutorial opinion. He specifically said that for that reason, that he still has issues with it. Now, this is what the Democrats seized on, but I'm telling you from an agent's point of view what this means in the FBI, because the people who were doing all the investigation were all FBI agents. And none of them have compromised their position, disclosed information improperly. In this heated environment on both sides, the FBI can't afford to be partisan, cannot.
Although there were members of his team that were not FBI agents, like Andrew Weissman, right? He was a DOJ guy. And
there are always DOJ
Clinton
guys.
Foundation
DOJ
lawyer.
guys
Right.
always have another agenda.
Right. Yes. Right. All right. She is Dr. Kathleen Puckett. 23 years she spent as a FBI special agent. The book, Homeland Insecurity, How Washington Politicians have made America less safe. She now works also as a law enforcement consultant for the psychiatric and law program at the University of California, San Fran. Kathleen, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim was a 48-year-old husband, father, and business owner. He understood the importance of life insurance to protect his family and business. Jim knew what happened with no life insurance. His own father died, leaving a wife and children with no financial resources. Jim vowed to have enough coverage. He purchased a life insurance policy from NCSF. When Jim lost his life in a tragic car accident, his family grieved. But Jim had planned, and his family and business were financially secure because of life insurance through NCSF. NCSF is a not-for-profit company that provides life insurance and member benefits that commercial carriers do not. Jim was secure in knowing he would provide his family with financial security. He also chose NCSF because of their commitment to give back to communities through philanthropic work. For Jim, NCSF membership was a great fit. Protecting your life matters to NCSF, and it should matter to you. Life insurance can make the road ahead easier for those you leave behind. Visit ncsf.com to learn about their life and annuity products and member benefits. Visit ncsf.com today.
Oh, we know it's March, and for many of us, that means allergy season. And our friends at Balance of Nature have an incredible Madness in March discount that you'll want to take advantage of that I'll tell you about in just a second. But first, I've got to tell you about Balance of Nature. Think of it this way, 10 servings of fruits and vegetables in a single capsule. And we all know how important getting your daily dose of fruits and veggies is, especially when it comes to staying healthy this spring. Don't wait until you start feeling sick to take Balance of Nature. Boost your immune system now, just like I'm doing, and get Balance of Nature today. I spent time with the founder and creator of Balance of Nature, Dr. Douglas Howard, and his family. They show me the emails, play the voicemails from real people who are living happier and healthier lives because of Balance of Nature, and that can be you too. And today only, when you go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code AmyJ5, AMY, the letter J, the number 5, all one word, AmyJ5, to receive $25 off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Again, use promo code AmyJ5, all one word, when you visit balanceofnature.com or call 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751.
On April 5th, don't miss The Best of Enemies, starring Academy Award nominee Taraji P. Henson.
I play Ann Atwater, a civil rights activist who was able to approach hate with love.
And Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell.
All the better is you don't get in my way.
Well, I'm gonna get in your way.
If you change one heart, you can change the world.
I have a revival.
Then you ought to know, same God made you, made me.
The Best of Enemies, based on the untold true story. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters April 5th.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water, like our client from Mount Prospect.
We decided to refinish our basement and wanted to put in new flooring, but we've always had a seepage problem. I heard Chicagoland Waterproofing on the radio and had to call. Gus came to our home and identified the problem immediately, explained a solution which involved 60 feet of interior trenching along the foundation. His guys were on time, professional, and cleaned up when they were done. Our refinished basement is 100% dry. Dry as a bone. Great experience. In Gus, we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
For those carping about Michigan State coach Tom Izzo, listen to what Aaron Henry, the player that he screamed at, had to say about Coach. We'll have that at 8:48.
And later, he can't swim, but he wants to row across Lake Michigan, and we'll tell you why, and we'll tell you who coming up. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Clouding up right now, 33 degrees. President Trump claiming a major victory after special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation found no evidence that he or his campaign colluded with Russia in any way to sway the 2016 election. Former CIA Director John Brennan says that's an outcome everyone should be satisfied with.
I am relieved that it's been determined that there was not a criminal conspiracy with the Russian government over our election. I think that is good news for the country.
That said, Attorney General William Barr's summary of the Mueller report also touched on the question whether the president may have obstructed justice by interfering in the Russia probe. A dozen people accused in the nation's biggest college admissions bribery case are due in Boston federal court today. 6 college athletic directors, an associate athletics director, 2 SAT test administrators, and 2 others accused of wrongdoing who worked with alleged ringleader Rick Singer. Another student from Stoneman Douglas High in Florida has reportedly committed suicide. Police are not releasing a name yet, but they say the student currently attends school. The San Antonio City Council over the weekend said no to opening a Chick-fil-A in its international airport. The decision came on a 6-4 vote, led by opposition to the restaurant chain's donations to groups that, according to some protesters, have a record of anti-LBGT discrimination. 2 men are charged with first-degree murder in the weekend slaying of an off-duty Chicago police officer who was repeatedly shot while sitting in a parked car. Chicago police announcing this morning that 24-year-old Manelik Jackson of South Holland and 32-year-old Jovan Battle of Chicago were arrested for firing into the car in the River North neighborhood, killing John Rivera. They're expected in court later today. It's not known if they have lawyers. A man is charged with stealing rare comic books from this weekend's Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. Stephen Bowles of Remington, Indiana, faces 3 counts of theft for stealing over $9,000 worth of comics from 3 vendors. Blackhawks over Colorado, 2-1 at the UC. Hawks have a night off, and then another playoff critical matchup Tuesday against Arizona. The news, a service of Accountemps. When you could use some help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis, and fast. Call today, Accountemps, Robert Half Company. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher likes to watch the Democrats scramble.
Isn't it fascinating to watch the Democrats flailing? They are literally flailing away right now. Let's lower the voting age to 16. Let's get rid of the Electoral College. 3rd trimester abortions just A-OK with me, says Beto O'Rourke. I mean, it's one thing after another.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg at Team Hochberg. If you're credit challenged, Team Hochberg has a special offer. Credit enhancement expert Gary Novell has taught me everything I know about credit and has helped thousands of radio listeners enhance their credit. If your credit is prohibiting you from purchasing a home or refinancing your existing home, Gary will help. Here's how it works. Call Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID and we'll introduce you to Gary Novell. Invest in yourself by hiring Gary to enhance your credit, and Team Hochberg will refund Gary's fee when Team Hochberg closes your loan. If you'd like a professional to enhance your credit so you can purchase a home or refinance your existing home, call the local mortgage experts on Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com.
Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061.
Planning out every step of a construction project, whether it's pumping concrete for your new basement or a high-rise on Wacker Drive, can be stressful, and cost is as important as the ability to place the concrete quickly. You need a trusted company like Anderson Concrete Pumping. Using their state-of-the-art pumps and conveyors, Anderson Concrete Pumping can help you with the smallest footprint. They work fast and can pour with a day's notice. Not only will you save time, but also money. Anderson is the woman-owned concrete pumping company in the Midwest and a trusted conforms dealer. You know they do great work because you've seen it at Soldier Field, Wrigley Field, and McCormick Place. Anderson Concrete Pumping is the best choice for a job of any size. That's Anderson with an E. Visit AndersonPump.com to see a variety of working drawings and to schedule an on-site recommendation, or call 708-333-4433 for a free recommendation. That's 708-333-4433. Anderson with an E. Experience excellence. Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 8:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Al Verde.
Here's a look at traffic. Some accidents to tell you about on the tollways. On the westbound Adams at 23, a crash. So eastbound Adams at 23, left lane is blocked to help out with that crash. Reagan eastbound slows up between Veterans Memorial and Highland, where an accident has the right lane blocked. And Veterans northbound from Findlay to Butterfield, traffic is stop and go. An accident there's got the right lane blocked. Edens, in the meantime, is good both directions. Kennedy inbound, 54, O'Hare to downtown, 33 back out to the airport. Eisenhower into the circle is 58 minutes, 34 to get back out to 390. Stevenson in 58 minutes, and that is from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. That's traffic. I'm Al Verdi on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Later today, sunny, breezy, and cooler, high 41, clear and cold 27. Overnight, 35 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Everybody knows Peanut Tillman, Charles Peanut Tillman, one of the greatest cornerbacks to ever play for the Chicago Bears. And you always wonder what guys do after they stop playing. I'm wondering that about Rob Gronkowski, who announced his retirement over the weekend.
Gronk is out.
Maybe he'll do what Peanut Tillman did, become an FBI agent. Sort of a remarkable post-football career, but it's not surprising. Tillman, also known for being very philanthropically oriented.
Yeah, won the Walter Payton Award.
Exactly.
Yep.
And a sharp guy, and boy, that's a remarkable thing to be an FBI. I wonder if he uses the peanut punch to apprehend suspects now, if he's still got the peanut. And he's also, going back to his philanthropy, he is, along with another gentleman representing another foundation, because, of course, Peanut has the Charles Tillman Cornerstone Foundation. He and another gentleman from the Beckley Foundation are teaming up to support families and fight childhood cancer this summer by rowing nonstop across Lake Michigan in August.
But the thing is that Tillman has zero experience as a rower, and he's afraid of water.
That spells for an interesting row across Lake Michigan.
Yes.
Maybe put a sail on his rowboat. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Bears great and now FBI special agent. How about that? Okay. Charles Peanut Tillman. Peanut, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning. And now, I won't get too much into the weeds here, but do your colleagues at the FBI also refer to you as Peanut?
No, not talking. I can't talk about that. I'm just here to talk about the row.
All right.
I told you that he can't talk about it.
Talk about what they call him? Okay, everything is super secret classified. We'll have to get Devin Nunez to request a declassification. Okay, all right.
So tell us what you're doing and why you're afraid of water, but yet you're tackling something that's it's a monstrosity trying to row across Lake Michigan.
Well, I'm afraid of big bodies of water. Like, I don't mind swimming pools and stuff like that, but just big lakes and stuff, me being in it, yeah, terrified of it. I have a big fear of huge bodies of water like Lake Michigan, oceans, and things like that. But yeah, my partner and I, Jake, we decided to build a boat, and we're going to row across Lake Michigan. It's about 65 miles, and it'll probably take about 24 hours for us to do it, and we're doing it for a great cause. Obviously, I'm raising money for my my Cornerstone Foundation, and Jake's doing his for childhood cancer, specifically neuroblastoma.
Wait a second. You're building your own boat? You're not going to leave that to the professionals? Sir. What is how big is your boat?
We started to buy one. We started to buy a boat and realized that it was way too costly, and if we purchased it, that would be less funds for us to put into our foundations and actually give money away. So we decided to build one from scratch. As he says, we're bootstrapping this whole thing. We're taking all donations of any kind. Doesn't necessarily have to be money. If you have a skill or something that you feel that could help us out along our quest, to row across Lake Michigan, please reach out. My @Peanut Tillman on all my social media platforms, or you could Facebook, charlestillman.org. You can get more information from there.
I'm afraid that this is going to turn out like Tom Hanks trying to get off that island in Castaway. Are you sure you guys know how to build a boat?
Yeah. We're probably about 3 weeks out from building the boat.
All
right. 3 weeks out from building. I think it gets painted in a couple weeks. Just doing some sand and last minute things, but yeah, the boat's pretty much, for the most part, it's pretty much done. We just got a lot
Lake
of
Michigan can turn on you in a hot second, right? Where you'd have 10,
Yes, ma'am.
20-foot swells.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, well,
Yeah, sure. Also,
there's
sharks,
not sharks
apparently.
in the water.
Yeah, you
It's
got to watch
fresh
out for the
water.
sharks.
but so I mean,
Or the
Yeah, you
coho
don't have to
salmon.
worry about me being in the water with them sharks. I'm good. I will be in the boat. We will have a chase boat following us at all times, so it's not just two of us in all of Lake Michigan.
All right.
And you
We're going to do it safe. We're going to do it the right way.
Okay, where do you start and where are you hoping to finish?
We're going to start in St. Joseph, Michigan, and we'll finish in Montrose Harbor, somewhere in that area.
Have you? Did you do the polar plunge or something? You kind of start to get yourself acclimated to this.
Absolutely not. Don't need to go in icy cold water when it's super cold outside. That's crazy.
Smart man.
Who would do that?
That's exactly right. Smart
Yeah.
man. Now I have a
can't do that.
I have a picture of you guys sanding this boat. I'm thinking like Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman in Shawshank. Are you going to take this boat down to Zihuatanejo after you row across Lake Michigan?
I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm just looking forward to it, man. It's for a great cause. We're doing it for these kids and these families, man. Jake's a great guy. I have a really good partner. We're just trying to raise as much money as we can. We're still looking for sponsors and donors and sponsorships and just anybody and whoever would love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
We'll take you.
And
We'll take all the help we can get.
Neuroblastoma is it's awful. Our 5-year-old neighbor, Mira, she died from a brain tumor, neuroblastoma, and it is just devastating to see what the families go through. And there's really, are we any closer to a cure or trying to tackle this?
To my knowledge right now, no. I've had several family friends that have had neuroblastoma. One family in particular, she was successful with her treatment and she is still living, which is rare and a blessing all at the same time. And I'm so happy for her. But hopefully with some of the funds that we're able to get, there's a doctor at Rush. Her name's Dr. Mary Beth, and she has a she has a lab at Rush, and she's doing some tremendous work. So with her research on neuroblastoma. So we're hoping, with some of the funds that we were able to raise, that she can find a cure.
Now, are you allowed to talk about the Bears, or is that
top secret?
Yeah. What about what do you think with replacing Cody Parkey? How do you like their chances next year?
Oh, I just think whoever they find, they just got to find a kicker who, first of all, can kick, and secondly, who's just mentally strong, mentally tough. I guarantee this next kicker, whoever they hire, whoever they sign, he's going to miss a kick or two. The key is just, can you mentally bounce back? Do you let one bad kick lead to 2 to 3 to 4, so on and so forth? We're all going to have a bad game. We're all going to miss a kick. I don't expect this kicker to be perfect. It's unfair. But if you do miss a kick, so what? You got to be able to brush it off and just move on to the next one.
All right. What do you think about
hopefully they can do that. What
do you think about the prospects of Gronk maybe trying to try out for the FBI? This is post.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm just here to talk about the road, man.
All right.
All right. So wait, the road. How much money do you hope to raise by this? And where can we donate?
Man, I don't even want to put a number on it. I'm hoping we can just raise as much as we can.
All right. It's Row for Kids. Rowforkids.com is the website. He is, of course, Charles Peanut Tillman. Bear's great, and now start working as an FBI special agent. The foundation, the Charles Tillman Cornerstone Foundation, along with the Beckley Foundation, are this is the brainchild of those two foundations. It's sometime in August, weather dependent. They are going to row hundreds and hundreds, thousands of miles from Northwest Indiana, or from St. Joseph, Michigan to, very, very good. All right, Charles, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Good luck with the row and the Rays.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
We appreciate all that you do. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you build it, he will come. You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Spring is in the air, but if you've got school-age kids, then you should already be thinking about back-to-school season this fall. And you should consider sending your child to a private school at half the regular cost, thanks to halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over Chicagoland, offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including Westminster Christian in Elgin, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Calvin Christian in South Holland, Covenant Christian in Aurora, Lake County Baptist in Waukegan, and Faith Evangelical Lutheran in Antioch. Make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out, so visit HalfPriceSchools.com today. That's HalfPriceSchools.com.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
What's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. And no medical exams required for policies covering under $1 million. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Let's do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
In today's turbulent times, professionals from a variety of industries are faced with concerns regarding workplace violence and the harm it can cause to its employees. Workplace violence can manifest in any setting and oftentimes might come without warning. The team at P4 Security Solutions can assist your organization in mitigating risks to prevent you and your employees from becoming a victim.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Doria, President and CEO of P4 Security Solutions. As a lifelong Chicagoan and security expert with over 40 years in the industry, I take pride in providing our clients a variety of security offerings to address your risks and concerns. Our security services deliver customized offerings to address threats while maintaining continuity. P4 Security Solutions, your trusted advisor for uncertain times.
Contact P4 Security Solutions when you require active shooter training, workplace violence programs, off-duty police services, security assessments, personal protection, or any other of our security solutions. Visit our website at p4secure.com or call us at 312-502-1702 for immediate response.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results, well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-375-8900. 800-375-8900. That's 800-375-8900.
If you maintain an industrial plant, you know your dust collection systems are a vital part of the operation of your plant. Without them, things can get dusty quick. And when your dust collection system malfunctions, the downtime can cost your plant money. Time to call the professionals at Vans Industrial for help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. At Vans, we work with many different types and sizes of dust collectors, from 1,000 CFM to 100,000 CFM. If your system needs housing repair, tube sheet, pulse valves, ductwork, or collection hoods, give us a call. Schedule an inspection today to keep things running smoothly and avoid costly downtime. And when you're ready for a new dust collector, we can design your system from the collection hoods to the stack for plants of all size applications.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Peanut Tillman couldn't talk about Gronk's retirement because he's an FBI agent. I don't really understand, but okay. Ralph from Rantoul can. Ralph, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, two things. The lady kind of cut you short when you said uncertainty, and she kind of chopped in and said, no, not uncertainties, Dan, vagaries. So maybe you can take all of next week to explain to all of us dummies what the difference between a vagary and an uncertainty is.
I
guess
that's
significant in FBI lingo.
Yeah.
The other thing is, she said, no. We don't pay attention to words. We watch what people do, all right? Maybe Blago's got this in like a blackmail, some sort of contraband radio he's listening in his cell. And I'm sure he's thinking, wait a minute, I never actually sold a senatorship. I'm in jail because people said I talked about it and they got me on tape doing that. So I guess all statutes that deal with conspiracy to commit fill in the blank, they don't care about?
Well, right. Thanks for the call, Ralph. I mean, the other point, too, is just words. When do words become action? When you lie to the FBI, like Andy McCabe did. Anyway, we get it. We've had a long and storied discussion about all things Mueller and Barr today, but I wanted to end on Izzo because he took so much heat. It was just remarkable. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because of the very delicate sensibilities of everyone in this hyper-politicized age. So Izzo in the first-round game when they're struggling against Bradley screams at Aaron Henry, this very talented freshman on Michigan State's team. And, of course, people take out after Izzo.
On social media, they're talking about how dare they have family on their MSU shirts when dad's yelling at the player.
Mm-hmm.
You kidding me? I wanted to respond, but I sat that one out because it's ridiculous. That's what you need. Without rules, there's chaos. And if he's not inspiring him to be a better player and to, run back, don't jog back on the fast break, he's not going to become a better player. And it's because of him yelling at him that, they were behind at halftime and that they beat Bradley.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, all that you heard from people who were criticizing Izzo is ignorance. They don't know anything about coaching. They don't know anything about shaping young men. Fortunately, Aaron Henry, who received the tirade from Izzo, does. Here's what Aaron Henry said. My parents loved my response. They're proud I didn't show any disrespect or fight back, not that I wanted to. Most people would have in this generation. The relationship we have is bigger than just coach and player, way deeper than that. I don't want to compare it to father and son, but it's that level of care, that level of love he has for you, that level of trust. I signed to his program for the next 4 years to make my dreams come true, and he's definitely helping me toward that. That's sort of a silencer.
That's awesome.
Isn't it? Good for Aaron Henry and good for Tom Izzo and good for Michigan State, who moved on by decimating Minnesota and will beat Duke if Duke makes it to the Elite Eight when they shouldn't have made it to the Sweet 16 because Central Florida should have won.
God. Wait, because of Taco Fall? How tall is Taco?
7'6".
7'6". I mean, he is head and shoulders. It was amazing to see him play
he's
last
head and shoulders.
I know,
yeah,
but
sure, 7'6" will do that.
I think you're burying the lead. Justin, can you cue the Iowa fight song, please?
What Iowa fight song? They lost.
But I know they lost, but they're winners in my mind.
Everybody gets a trophy, Coach.
They were down 25.
Everybody's a Sweet 16.
They were down 25 points at one point in time. Came back and tied at 71-71.
Why were they down 25 points?
Because it was an early tip-off, and they do better at later games.
Okay. Is that what Fran McCaffrey said?
That's what I said.
Fran McCaffrey's gonna
there you go. Come on,
single you out
Justin.
for some rhetorical punishment for suggesting
And I
that
just want
Iowa
you to know-
Hawkeyes are such cream puffs that they
Yeah.
can't play at 11:30 tip.
Well,
Come on.
It was, whatever. They had a slow start, but they came around. It was fun. They made it exciting, okay? Tennessee. What is wrong
How
with us playing the
how
fight was
pathetic
on?
is that? You lost the game and you're playing the fight song.
'Cause that's why
you're
we're
celebrating
annoying.
a loss. Yeah. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Big Ten's only open enrollment school.
Hey, you moved up, by the way, in our office bracket pool.
Yeah.
You were in last place. Now you're in fourth place. Congratulations.
Slowly moving up.
Oh, look who's the study number 2. This guy.
Yeah.
I mean, this girl.
A lot of basketball yet to be played. Oh, by the way,
Yes.
just as something too, U of I. Hey, Admiral Schofield, leading Tennessee to the Sweet 16. Not good enough for U of I. Not recruited by U of I. 6'6", 240, the top 5 team. What do you have, 20 yesterday against Iowa? Not good enough for U of I, okay? I just can't emphasize that enough. Just like Ethan Happ wasn't good enough for U of I, and so many other players you've been watching in the tournament that are Illinois products and didn't stay home. Love it.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Josen Kosick, our technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, who is the manager today for our 5th and 6th grade girls basketball team. We appreciate it.
Big job.
The game, by the way, is sold out tonight, so please don't bother.
All 20
coming.
seats sold. Wow.
That's all that fit.
We'll see you. We'll be here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
2 are charged with first-degree murder in the weekend slaying of an off-duty Chicago police officer. Partly sunny skies in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time 9.
Is it a hasty partisan interpretation?